Hey, welcome, buddy. It is, I know, late for a rum and coke night, but people wanted one tonight, and well, I guess they're going to have one. Although I'm not drinking tonight, I'm having milk. I'm having some stomach issues, and I didn't want to drink tonight. I do have a bottle of wine for next time. I do have a bottle of wine for next time. Anyways, we got a full house in here. We got a lot of people in here already. If you want the link, message myself, Chesh, or Bull for the link, or preferably Chesh. She'll be the gatekeeper when she gets back. But we're going to try to avoid sending the link out to the group for right now. We have a group of vetted people, but we're going to try doing it a little bit different way. So just message Chesh everyone in. Anyways, real quick, we got Sweet Heathen, we've got Paul, we've got Caris, we've got Bullinator, and we got about 12 other people that I can't see. Caris. Karis. I know this. I know how to say a band name. Karis. Like Care Bear, only with an S. I was up all night, like, not flirting with her last night, so, yeah. I know how to pronounce her
Got Gibbsy in there as well.
Bring Sweet in. She's totally allowed.
Sweet who? I don't. Oh, that's Sweet. Oh, there she is. Hi, Sweet.
Yep. Huh? Me?
Karis and I were not flirting last night in any way, shape, or form. Okay.
Well, that's really lame. Why not?
Because I suck at it. Ask her. It's really, really bad. She asked for a dick pic. I sent her a picture of Richard Nixon.
That's just old now. It's not even funny anymore.
She said some good stuff. No, she said some good stuff. Did you see before you came in the stuff she was sending me? It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. She's smart. All right. Anyways,
I
the rest of
my clam.
She did send a picture of a clam.
What was that?
She sent a picture of a clam. Had nice legs too. Yeah. But as you guys noticed, real quick. Oh, by the way, if you guys noticed, I did remove all the mods. We're going to start from scratch. There's a lot of reasons for that. Obviously, people knew there was a rogue mod the other day. I'm not sure who it was, but they deleted about a dozen people. I fixed it, so if you were accidentally hidden and I didn't catch it, please let me know. But I think I've got everybody. But we're going to be doing it systematically and just kind of having a lot less mods on this particular channel than we did before. The Great Debate Computer is a little bit different. That one's more for vetting, and so I'll edit that one down too, but it won't be as stringent as this one because we just don't need that many mods, especially when people come in and they see like 1,000 blue things, and there's a point to be had when they say, well, it's a bunch of blue wrenches. So I get that. So we're going to be limiting it down. I'll, as we go, probably have about 10 mods total at some point, maybe by the end of the night. But until then, we'll be drinking and talking. And there's a few things we need to go over. But anyways, Chester, did you get back? Oh, look who showed. Oh, my goodness. Is this the real Defango? Like the Defango? Well, Defango's dead. He shot his dick off. I mean, elusive man.
Well, you need to
you have to unmute Defango.
Talking.
Yeah, this is weird about Google Meets, but you come in muted. Yeah.
No worries. What's going on, folks? Yeah, Defango has returned. I mean, it was a Halloween joke that ran its course, and I didn't think that people were actually going to steal my name on Twitch and some other places.
Did they really?
The elusive man, yeah, they did.
Get out.
They did.
No way.
Dicks.
Get out. Really?
It's all right though. Yeah, the real reason I use Defango anymore though is because YouTube or Twitter used to ban my Twitter accounts when the word Defango was on there too many times because my @Defango account got nuked a couple of years ago. They said it was for targeted harassment and I was permanently banned, but I told them to eat my booty. But I don't know why.
Interesting.
They won't let me have it back.
Okay, well, that kind of sucks. George M. back to begin alert. Thank you, George M. for that. And yes, by the way, people are messaging me. The only person who did something wrong, whoever it was that timed out, or excuse me, hit the people, all the other mods, none of you people did anything wrong. I noticed when something happens, people are like, "What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong?" You did nothing wrong. This is about me. This is not about you. Okay. But it's actually about the channel. But anyways, like I said, we'll as we go. Gets a few more mods, but I'm going to limit them very selectively to this channel to maybe like 6 to 10 mods. I think is what we need. Do you guys agree with that? Is that about right? Sounds right for a number? Okay, so don't take it personally.
Yeah,
if you want one of them.
I think the general rule of thumb is for every 1,000 you add a mod.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. By the way, I am putting closed captioning on. Somebody had asked me that. Let me know if it's working right.
Oh, that'll be so funny.
Yeah, I think it's working because I can see it in the outside. So
that closed caption thing is so cool.
Yeah, well, I do have a friend who's a little bit hard of hearing, and I know other people probably watch that might be as well. So I think for certain hangouts like this, we probably should have a closed captioning for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, what up?
Little words on
What
the
I
bottom.
miss?
We were talking about the closed captioning that I have for the hangout. I want to know if the people can see it on the
Yes.
outside. Yeah.
Oh, that shit's good.
And we were talking about getting the mods down to about a manageable level, 6 to 10 or so.
Yeah, 6 to 10 is probably more than enough. You can always add more later if you need it.
Yeah, I think he's right though. I think a 1 for every 1,000 sounds like a good rule of thumb.
Yeah, that is good. I agree. Provided like you've got people that are you choose people who are watching consistently, then yeah.
Yeah. So I've got 2 right now, so I need 11 more over a period of. I'm not gonna probably all do it tonight, but
Is that 1 for every 1,000 subs?
yeah. Yeah. I mean that makes sense. That's not a bad rule of thumb, I guess.
Considering the percentage of those who listen aren't usually actively chatting.
Yeah, and most of my mods, like I said, they
Right.
never have to really do anything, right? I mean, it's just that they have been vetted and things of that nature, and they don't have to worry about the timeout. Oh, excuse me, not, they have to.
On the
They
plus
can't be
side, it's-
timeout, and they can't worry about the slow mode. That's what it is. They don't worry about the slow mode.
On the plus side, it's going to be really obvious to tell who's kind of like a little bit of a bitch who maybe shouldn't have mod power. It's going to be the people who complain about being demodded when a situation happens like that.
You know, that happens to me all the time. Like, I give out moderations to just people that I want to be able to chat unimpeded. I tell people, don't ban anybody, right? And that's been a
Right.
mistake because I removed the wrench from them because they banned somebody. And then it's like, you know, you took away their whole entire job for their life or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a situation where you if you're going to do that because you don't want like your situation with SJ. I know you have SJ modded on a good number of things just so she won't get timed out all the
I
time.
removed her too from here. I removed all.
No,
the
no, no.
mods
I
from
mean,
here.
like it makes sense to if there's a situation where they are talking in the chat, then you give them a wrench and then you make sure to take it away at the end of the night.
Oh, George M. I have a good point. I didn't even recognize this, George. You're right. Members are not affected by slow mode.
Oh, that's cool.
Cash grab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I turned
Yeah,
on members,
I'm
and I
so
was
bad
like,
at
you want to talk?
Is that what it is? I'm so bad at crash grabbing. I didn't even know that was the case. I suck at this.
PayPal,
Suck the
mate.
failure.
PayPal me.
Donos, get those
Give me
donuts.
I need donuts from my Red Bull.
See, in the
I
chat,
feel
it
like
says
me
slow
and
mode is
Sweet
on for
Heathen.
me.
I feel like me and Sweet Heathen are on the same like level of comfort of where we're sitting at right now.
I
We've
thought
got
she
the
was
same
gonna say-
energy.
Why did I say she was going to be hot? I swear to God,
Casual night.
I thought she was going to say hotness. I don't know why.
Well, that's definitely true.
I go, yeah, but I was like, wow, just like vanity.
I
Always
love
vanity.
Josh's hat.
Did you
It's
guys
too
read,
warm in here for a hat.
Did you guys read?
I had my window open all day because it's winter time in Canada and rooms get stuffy, so it was like kind of a little bit warmer today. So I had the window like cracked open, so it's still a little chilly in here.
Sweet,
Yeah.
Sweet, show the shirt. I love that shirt.
That shirt is awesome.
I go. Let me see if I can highlight this for the audience here. One sec. Can
I go both ways.
I go both ways. Go down a little bit. Just go down.
Blah
a little
blah blah.
Go
I can
down a
talk
little
and I
bit,
can see
damn
it
it.
that way.
Go down. No, the other way. That's up.
What are you
Life
talking
is good.
about?
There you go. Life is good.
Oh my god!
She knows she's
my
so
God.
bad at
This
taking
is why
directions.
Steve can never be a dom. He can't tell people what to do. He's too confusing.
Thank you, Chaz.
Oh my God! I'm not even drinking tonight. This is probably the best thing I've ever.
Oh man.
Which
Yes.
side do I whip them in?
I think it's funny that the time that I don't have cleavage is when like you're trying to get me to put my boobs in the screen.
for donos.
Ooh.
Are you drinking tonight, Sweet?
Do it for the cash.
Yep.
What are you drinking?
I'm on the red side.
You on the red side? I got a pink wine, but like I said, I didn't crack it open tonight. Should I? I'm feeling a little better.
No, if you're not feeling
Yeah,
well,
fuck
then
it.
I
your
feel better
stomach issues.
now.
Yeah, I don't.
You're
I
the
mean, you're a
shittiest
grown
at
man.
peer
How would you do
pressure.
what he wants?
Sweet, you have one job is to corrupt me and do peer pressure, and you're failing at it. Give me peer
Oh,
pressure.
I'm more than happy to corrupt you, but I don't want to hurt you.
Oh,
So
Sweet. Now
Within
she
reason,
too
anyway.
late.
At a
Sweet
perfect
is a
time.
dumb. She knows your limits, Steve.
Speaking of limits, Lawrence,
Hello.
you're the dom.
That is true.
Once.
I have about a dozen videos to prove it. So.
Oh,
Which I'm
links
waiting
on
to
Pornhub.
see.
Ooh.
Yeah, see those links.
Hold on, Pop.
People asking for links in 5, 4.
How long is the
if they
delay
find
on
it-
YouTube?
Can I get a
If they
link?
find it, that's fine. No, you
don't know.
cannot.
I don't know. I'm not going on camera
Ah,
tonight.
look, it's
I'm not feeling that
Lunchbox.
great, but I might
Hi,
have a little bit of wine.
Lunchbox.
Does pink wine
Does
even
it
count?
count?
Yeah, pink wine's good.
Does it count as porn bombing if it's your own videos?
That's a good question.
Yes.
Fox want to hang out with Puck.
You should be able to.
She probably would want to.
I fixed that.
She'd probably bite him a lot.
That's okay. He's big.
I'm double checking here.
So many cute doggos. I'm jelly.
Yeah, you're not hidden, Lucifer.
Boop the snoot.
Just checked.
Boop the snoot.
So are we talking
like I
about
don't know.
anything important before I got here?
We're going over some I guess admin type stuff because of the wrench situation. So I've kind of cut down all my mods, and we're going to be going down to like a dozen or so.
Okay.
Administrative stuff.
Yeah, administrative, and then shilling for donos.
Steve's starting his cash
Ready?
grab for memberships. So if you want to chat unimpeded, you have to pay him. So he's on the fuck you pay me model. I think it's how it goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the
PM.
don't forget the wish list for Doggo there.
Somebody was kind enough and sent him the biggest bag of Dentasticks I have ever seen.
I have a wish list here just for Wednesdays in the video description.
Super chat from Godless Scummer to. Hey guys, can I join?
You need to even ask.
Nope. You.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, I don't know. Godless who? Let me give him a link right there. There you go. You got the link in direct thing, Jeff.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you don't have a wrench anymore. I don't recognize you.
Pay to play, baby. Pay to play.
It's like your hat. If you take it off, I just don't know who you are anymore.
That's the first question I asked her is, what is on your head? I thought it was a dead squirrel.
What if I switch hats? I got another hat.
Dead
Want me to
squirrel.
change
That
hats?
does not look like a dead squirrel.
It's got a pom pom
I
on
think
it.
it's
It's got a pom pom. It's got little danglies.
Do you realize we show more?
Steve just can't help but neg every chance he gets. It's so bad.
I neg a lot. Do you guys realize we show more for Puck than we do for ourselves?
That's because Puck is best boy.
He's the best boy.
Yeah.
We love Puck.
I thought that was Bull.
Bull and
Bull
Puck
is
are
a
both
boy.
best
Best
boys.
boy.
Vegeta, hi Vegeta. I acknowledged you. Sampe, Sensei, whatever. Let's acknowledge you.
So I have this other hat. You want me to put this one on? It's a Timo hat.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey.
Timo is a little devil.
And hi Kawasa. Hi Sarah. Hi Rez.
Never underestimate the power of the Scouts Code.
Hello.
That looks like a frog.
I'm gonna crack a beer open now, I'm in there.
You're triggering me.
More
Yeah,
than-
who was going to bring the Kraken
2,
tonight?
3, 4.
Who bought the Kraken for tonight? Somebody bought Kraken just to come in tonight.
No, if only she had a dart gun.
Release the Kraken.
No, it was I guess Kraken is a dark rum or spiced rum.
Yeah, right.
It's a nice stuff. It's a nice sprout.
Morgan.
It really is.
I have never tried it, but it sounds really good. I
Size doesn't mean everything.
It's decent.
I have a bottle of Kraken from my birthday last year, and I still haven't opened it because I have a bunch of other alcohol to get through.
Kraken's very good. It's got a caramel.
I like Admiral because it's got a vanilla flavor. That Admiral Nelson.
Well, I'm kind of flashing it on the screen what I am drinking here.
Puck sent you guys a
Yeah,
plus.
that was me that released the Kraken.
Oh, Jenny's a
Release the
Patreon. Thank you,
Kraken.
Jenny, for becoming a Patreon. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to start shilling for myself a little bit. I haven't for a very
I
long
released
time.
the Kraken.
There you go. You
Steve
were
does
the one
that
that
every
had Kraken.
time. Every
Hell
time he's
no.
like, I'm gonna. When he starts talking
I never
about
do, though.
saying how he's gonna promote and stuff, he's like,
Okay.
I haven't done this in a while. I'm gonna start promoting, and then he never does. And then the next time he's like, I'm gonna start promoting and shilling for myself a little bit, and then he never does.
I just don't.
It's so not his nature. That's the thing, and that's why it's be hilarious if anyone thinks he does anything for money.
I'm
It's
the
completely
world's worst grifter in
Ted
the
had
history
little ears
of
on it.
grifting.
Yes.
I mean,
There we go.
I mean,
Worst
I
grifter ever.
swear to God, I legit have sent my financials to Bullinator. He knew exactly how much I made Bull, would you say that if I was grifting, I am the world's worst fucking grifter at the total that I made? I mean, for fuck's sake.
Kawasa for 2 says, "Drunken peasants. Puck is a sweet boy. Puck is a sweet boy.
He's a sweet boy.
Yeah.
Puck is a sweet boy."
Yeah, is Drunken Peasants live? Go give them a link. They were live earlier. I've already explained the wrench situations. People are still asking for wrench. All the wrenches are gone, except for 2 people. I'll get.
People might still be coming in though too, so they may not know.
People might
They
still be coming in, and
they may be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, people might just be confused about, like, wait, did something else now happen on top of that? Like, we had a rogue mod, and now a rogue mod is demodding people? Yeah, it's Steve. Steve is the rogue mod. It was him the whole time. It's all an elaborate ruse. He just wanted to blame it on other people.
That's devious.
If your mod list was the same as the betting email, you could just mass email out so you stop getting that question every 20 minutes.
You know,
Our
here's the thing, though.
non-wrenches are the Emperor's new wrenches.
I did. Okay, this is weird about the group thing.
Emperor's new wrenches.
I got my admin here, so let me. I got one of my admins. I got 2, actually both admins. One's in their live chat. Frank is actually my admin for my. Justin Franks is one of my admins for my webpage, and then Paul here is my admin for the group, the Google groups. So why I only see myself and Paul in the group itself. I sent in an email at the group email. I don't know who got that because I sent it when that goes out. I should get a copy to my other email, and I didn't. So that somebody said it did go out.
That's how I got it.
That's how you got it. Okay, so it did go out.
Yeah, I've got to look at that.
All right, so here's the thing:
See what's going on.
the members are there. They do exist, but I don't see them. I can't manage them, and so that's weird. So I don't know what's going on.
Wait,
Yeah,
I need
can
I need to get one of those hats that has a has like mittens on, like the ones that like hang down and has like a narwhal or something, and it has mittens on it.
Is that a Timo hat?
I got one of those.
Is that a Timo
You
hat?
got one? I need one.
She's been quoting Timo like every
Oh,
5
no.
minutes.
It's a Timo.
Oh God.
It's a Timo hat.
It's hurting me. It's giving me nightmares
You'd
from
be
top lane.
surprised how quickly fur ignites.
No, the real test, chest, hold really still. Do you disappear?
Just go stand on Baron.
Are you trying to dom her?
Go stand on Baron.
Nope.
So
I'm just
actually, so
enjoying
Clash
how
for
lost
League
Steve
is Clash for League is coming out, and so I've got legitimately 5 people that actually want to play. So I might stream it. It's just gonna be a shit show. We're all
We
bad,
love
so
shit
it's like
shows.
nobody's good.
What game is that?
Well, you
It's
guys
just gonna
might like be
be-
good though.
No, yeah, it's just gonna be me screeching at them. Because what
always so
happens
bad.
always happens when I play with these friends of mine. We're really good for the first game to game and a half, and we win because they actually listen to my shot calling. Because I'm the only one who knows how to play the map. And then they get cocky because they win so hard the first 2 games, and then they just play complete trash because they ignore everything I say.
Oh my god! I used to I used to have that exact same
You just
thing happen.
described bronze.
No,
Congratulations.
you've described World of Warcraft, Warsong Gulch. Did you
This is
play
Wood
that?
League.
I am like the god of Warsong Gulch in World of Warcraft.
That is my favorite BG.
It is the best BG, and I had a group of about 40 people that I ran. I was the team leader, and so out of that 40, you would get 9 others to play with you, so you have a group of 10, and we would dominate the shit. We actually at one time went against one of the top 3 groups in the entire world. We lost. We got our ass handed to us, but we were really really good group. My mage is what was the second best mage in the
Hashtag humble
entire
brag.
server. No, that's not humble. That's I was fucking good. There's no humility there. That's one thing that I will brag at. I was good at PvP on World of Warcraft. I love that game. I played it for 10 fucking years. It's the only game I ever got good at. But what would happen, like you said, we would dominate the shit out of these teams, and then we would start facing. What happens is you get higher ranking, right? And so
Oh my god, Steve was Leroy Jenkins the entire time.
that'd be awesome. So you start facing better and better teams, right?
That explains all of the hate.
God damn it, Leroy! We've been setting this up for 3 weeks.
I want to tell my story.
Many whelps left side.
So as you win,
Is
right,
that it? Everybody else was the dirty dozen was all the rest of the people that dealt with you doing that to them?
Yeah.
Yep.
So after about
That's where all the hate
the
mongers
5th
initially
win,
came from.
you're going against 2,000 plus rated teams, right? and everybody's like, oh, happy, they've been dominating. Then we hit a really good team, and they stop listening, and, and people just fall apart because they get.
Oh yeah. Helios for 5 said, "Oh my God, Steve is trolling us and falsely removing Wrench. The next title of Vaping Vader's stream." Oh, that's a funny name. Also, why is the river outside now filled with mushrooms?
Vader.
Yeah, I was on the server.
I like Vaping Vader. I think we could use that.
Vaping Vader was actually pretty good.
I like that. I think we should keep that one. That's a good one.
Can we just say VV? I have to.
Steve,
That sounds like some sort of a disease.
But Vivi is but Vivi is a super cute character from Final Fantasy X. Or sorry, 9. It's the black mage. It's Vivi. Vivi's adorable. Vivi's too cute. I like Vaping Vader though. That's funny.
Did you guys see that alignment
I
thing?
agree. That was a ride.
Yeah.
Paul
really
Paul
funny.
posted it. Oh my god.
Not
Also
guilty.
with the salt.
So if you guys want to know the alignments on Twitter. We
And
gotta play
Mr.
a game
Serious
of
was
D&D.
asking you, Steve, what server you used to play on, and Kawasa for 2 said Frostmage players are cheapos.
Okay, wait a minute here. First of all, I was on Silvermoon. I was fire, okay? And I was a badass fire mage when people wanted to go frost, right? And they're like, why are you going fire? Because if you proc fire and you knew how to use ignite, yeah, if you knew how to proc it and you got the dots on them, you were invincible.
You had to, basically what you had to do is you had to play, a lot of people who played mages didn't realize that if you're playing a fire mage, you basically have to play close range.
Yes, see, yeah, exactly. Which sucks because people, like, you're so used to playing at range, right?
You know who never played WoW?
Yeah, no, you're right though. You want to be in their face because you got Dragon's Breath, right? Which is a close.
I avoided that shit like meth.
So you can
played that
CC
shit
with
like
Dragon's Breath, which is close. But you dot and proc, and you just basically ignite the shit out of them. And I've wiped out half the team, just by doing that.
Rogues really hate fire mages for that dot reason.
Yep.
Because they can't stealth.
They can't stealth, exactly. And I hate rogues with a passion.
And if they stealth close range, you just Dragon's Breath or you Blast Wave. And
yeah. Fire Mage was way better
right
than,
out of
than
stealth
Frost.
again.
I mean, now
Helios 575. Helios 575 for 5 said, I was Zillion mid when everyone thought he was a support and before his rework, and I owned all the Akali mids into them being irrelevant. Oh, pre-rework Zillion. You silly time boy.
Vegeta has a good point. Since I've removed all the mods, that I just created like 30 new McCrazies. Damn it.
No.
You removed all your mods, and yeah, you just created a bunch of haters, bro.
Damn it.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
I mean, to be fair, at least you kind of know where those people stood, I guess. They only like you for the wrench, Steve.
Yeah, that's it. Just
I lost my wrench.
Just want my tool. They just want me for my tool.
Yeah, fuck it. Keep mine. I never did anything with it anyway.
Here's
I was gonna say I don't even really care that much. Somebody can have mine. It's less responsibility that way.
I didn't know I gave you one.
Steve, I still have
I wouldn't mind
primer.
giving mine up.
Karis, do you
I still have primer.
You don't have a wrench?
I still have primer for your tool.
Oh, you still have primer, yeah. That was a
Man,
nice
I didn't
primer.
even get the option to give mine up.
Hey,
He got rid of all of them and said, quick, type in the chat. I was like, yo, what up? Wrenched again. Damn it.
I did. I literally just sat there and dot, just X.
Steve just keeps shoving his tool into my hands. I don't know what to do about it, to be honest.
Oh.
I know what to do about it, but I won't do it without Sweet's command. So
I said totally, it's not going to get taken out of context by anybody, Chesh. I'm sure.
I think the word you're looking, Karis. I think the word you're looking for is apathy, not consent.
I may or may not be causing problems on purpose because I'm in a bit of a saucy mood today. I had a bad day.
Sweet's very apathetic about any of that. She don't give a shit. It's not consent.
well, we'll make it all better.
Yeah, we're here for fun.
We'll just step on your mushrooms.
Look out for my poison shrooms.
So if she has a shirt, if she has a shirt with red and white wine, and I have
a question for Steve.
Oh, you have a question? Oh, I like questions. Go ahead. What's your questions?
Yes. Actually, it's an opportunity for you. Actually,
Ooh.
if you can, I'm gonna show you something, and if you
Oh,
tell me,
dude, if
what
I can
this is-
demonetize this quickly.
No, we're in trouble.
Here comes,
No,
here
no, you
comes
won't.
those videos we were
Yep.
talking about
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, we're kidding about that. No,
Demonetized.
sweet, stop it. Don't encourage him.
If
What the hell's
you
wrong
can-
with you?
You just
If you
told
can
me to be
identify
corrected.
this,
To
Steve,
me. Okay, go ahead. What?
if you can identify this,
Hmm.
you know what, I'll get.
I talk about that little
I'll give you
birthmark you
5
have
bucks
in
if
that
you
little
can
place
identify
that we.
this.
It's still his tool.
I know what your birthmark looks like.
This. Can you identify what this is?
The Ankhs and
I
the
want-
Egyptian
want
hieroglyphics.
Steve to
of
identify
Ra.
it.
Those, yeah, well, it's Egyptian. It's the hieroglyphics. That's the
The whole thing. I mean,
the calendar. Oh,
not a calendar.
Steve's drunk.
No.
Let's see here. Well, it keeps fading off because I hear the noises, so I have to pin this. So let me pin this real quick. Okay, so Ankh, I don't know Egyptian hieroglyphics. Nile, I see Osiris.
Well, you got the Egyptian thing down.
Oh yeah.
What are the How are the numbers relating?
Egyptian numbers? I don't know.
It's a
15.
puzzle.
Yeah, obviously. I don't know. I don't care. What is it?
This is an ancient Egyptian board game.
Oh.
It's called Senate.
Oh. Yeah, I would have never got that.
Sweet.
Here's some rules for Senate, also. But
okay, here's
so it's a fun little game.
That reminds me of something that we learned in school a long time ago. I wonder if it's similar.
I play like Go and those kind of games.
It looks like there's a couple of people, Steve, that are still hidden.
Yeah, if you're still hidden, let me know.
And also Empty Bottle got hidden, so you might want to hide Empty Bottle.
Empty Bottle. I think I already did that before.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I
what
didn't. Okay, yeah, I got it. Fixed. I hear. Let's play a little fun game of. There's a bunch of card games I used to play in. Brandon, can you mute real quick because I think you're just it's just showing you. Thank you.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. So there's a bunch of card games I played in the military. I'm gonna name 5 card games. One of them I did not play. Just so if you can guess what's. None of you guys know this probably. Okay,
You so play Magic.
No, we didn't play Magic in the Navy. They didn't have that back then. All right, so here's the card games that
I was playing Magic
I thought
earlier
about this
today.
question the other day, and I was going to ask it during a Rum and Coke, so I guess this works. Okay, here we go. So canasta, cribbage, spades, bridge, and euchre. Out of those 5 games, which game did I never play in the Navy or ever played?
I'm gonna guess bridge.
Bridge. Yeah, me too.
God damn it! You guys know me too well. I've never played bridge.
What a guess.
I love euchre. We played a lot of cribbage, played a lot of spades. We played a lot of canasta. Even played some pinochle at one time, a couple times with pinochle decks.
Wow, that was such a 50s sentence.
Pinochle?
Steve, you
have special decks.
ever play 52 card pickup?
Yes.
Hey, sweet. I really hope somebody
Lock
does.
the atheist.
I
Sorry,
really hope
Jess.
somebody does clip that of me saying that Steve keeps shoving his tool in my hand, because I really want them to clip it and try and show it while I'm wearing this stupid ass hat.
It would be wonderful, and you know that they'll do it before they listen to any more of the stream to get the context. Even even saying that,
or they'll have listened to the whole thing, know what the context is, and lie about it.
Sweet. There were people triggered.
I hope they do it, and they'll still do it.
Sweet. There were people triggered because we were talking about Cheshire giving hand jobs to people, and people are like,
Oh, I remember.
"Oh my god!"
I remember.
That's how triggered people get. It's fucking hilarious.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. We're talking about shake weights.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
God, these people have dirty ass minds.
I thought you used it more like this. Wasn't it more like this kind of an action?
Oh, you can do it any way you want. That's the amazing thing about shake weights. They're so malleable and flexible.
Versatile.
And I'm over here wondering what's
You
wrong
can
with her
use them
giving
for
somebody
so
a hand
much.
job.
Yet they're also
Yeah.
hard at the same time. It's kind of fun that way.
Karis, people are repressed.
I like them when they're hard.
People can't stand that this group actually has fun and actually enjoy each other's company and have great friends. They can't handle that for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh Jesus! Shake
I know
weights
it's
is still
terrible
being
how comfortable
sold.
we are.
I know.
Some people just hate fun, or they just hate that they're not having fun.
Defango, are you having fun?
Yeah.
We want you to have fun.
Yeah, I'm having fun right now. I'm
Okay,
listening to
here's
you
what I
guys
think
and
I'm doing.
your weirdness, and then I'm also moving that thing that I made to another server so I can do more things. Hee hee.
Yeah, multitasking.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hate all the
Cheshire,
cool kids.
Chesh, there's a question in the side chat. Do you think this behavior, I assume giving hand jobs, is becoming of a woman?
I mean,
Yes.
it's definitely coming of something.
Coming
if you're
on a
doing it
woman.
right.
And men, by the way, we are not bigoted here. Men can give them too.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong
Don't
with that.
don't discriminate.
Yeah.
Well, if
Oh,
you think
listen.
about it, most of the hands that you've shaken have had a dick in them.
Yeah, and keep in
Yep.
mind that the people who are best at hand jobs are all men. They get the
Well,
most
practice.
practice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
also, I
you
mean,
know.
I give them on the regular, and I'm definitely a woman, so I would say yes, it is quite becoming of a woman.
I would probably argue that it makes you better at being a woman if you're with somebody who likes hand jobs.
Again,
Does hand jobs,
men can give
does,
them
I have a
too.
question though. Does hand jobs
Lesbian.
apply specifically only to dicks? And if not, what's the other word for it if you're doing it for
Oh.
women?
I'd still call it a hand job. Oh wait, no, it's
Fingering?
It's fingering.
Well, it's fingering if you go in. Only if you go in though. You don't have to go in.
Oh,
Right.
you're talking about.
No, I think
rubbing.
it'd be fingering even if
Rubbing.
you're not going in. I mean, even
Yeah, I
if
would
it's
still
not
call
going
it
in.
I've heard
fingering.
Fingering
yeah.
of a knuckles in?
It's
Where
I've
do you
heard
guys
people
read
refer to
this
both as
from?
rubbing it one out. So I don't know.
Well,
I mean, they call it flicking the bean
Is
sometimes.
there a
I've heard it
book?
called DJing.
Is there a book on this?
DJing, that's good.
Is there a primer on this?
I've been told I'm a wonderful DJ, but that
Yeah,
is
there
the
you
only
go.
Killing
thing.
me.
That's the only
we
thing
go.
I'm good at, though. So I
Killing
stick to
me.
that.
Meanwhile,
Everything
the
else
finger
is
is
just a
busting.
fucking train wreck.
I hit the wrong button.
What were you
As it were.
thinking?
That's just something I know less of doing
What
with
was
my
the-
hand and more of doing with my tongue. So
We've got a question
whole different
for
thing.
Defango. It says, it's Philosopher5 says, Defango, is that data analytics you do something you've developed yourself, or did you have to take a course on that?
I just learned how to do that in the last 2 days, 3 days, or whatever. So I just taught myself.
Very cool.
It's really cool. It's good to know.
Yeah, it's stuff you
Okay,
can
back to
think yourself.
vaginas.
Unbelievable.
I've heard of just the tip, but I've never heard of just the knuckle.
No.
Are you comparing the size of your tool to the size of a knuckle?
Well, genetics.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you know, he says just the tip and then he puts in the whole thing, but nobody notices.
He's
To be
Oh.
This is why she doesn't have a wrench any
we're
longer.
talking about Andre the Giant.
I'll call paramedics.
If he is, that brings a whole new context to the thought of the idea of a knuckle dragger.
She's like,
Hey, listen,
anytime.
knuckle
I'm like,
dragging
shit, I've been
can-
done for 15 minutes. Where were you?
Is it me or
Knuckle dragging is a
did
good
the
thing.
tone get lower?
Steve, I
bar's
did
pretty
warn
low.
you.
Yes.
When you have me in these conversations, this is how they go.
I know. I don't know what it is about you.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Every time Kirsch comes into a hangout, the whole thing turns to smut. Like every
That's not a
single time.
complaint, by the way. That's just a fact.
That's a statement of fact. That's not a complaint.
I'm certainly not complaining.
Shut up.
And I would definitely like to note that it seems that most of the time when these conversations go in this direction, it's one of the women that starts it.
Plus, I mean, how many guys actually know?
Sorry,
I know.
the conversations are high
with-
standard before this.
But Jeff, what makes it even?
People are reporting us because they think the topic's inappropriate. That sounds pretty sexist
Oh,
to
wow.
me. You don't like
Yeah,
talking
wow.
about women and
Son
what
of a-
women enjoy and what women like to do. That's pretty sexist of you against women.
We're
I
talking
gotta
about
say.
the life experiences of women, and
Yeah.
this is a feminist show.
This is this
Yeah.
is about open sexuality and exploring people's.
And they're the ones that brought it up.
No, and look, we're not real women. The topic has been reported, and real women should unsub. Apparently, I'm not a real woman.
I've seen you. You're a real
Because I like
woman.
words
I know what you look.
traders
I'm one of the very
direction.
few that
Real
actually
women.
know what you look like in here, and this is what makes it all the hotter. she's
You notice? Hey,
You know,
I
her
gotta-
voice is incredibly sexy.
She and her voice matches
what I look
too.
like.
True.
Yeah. Her voice
That's the time.
Sweet, I'll send you a picture.
Yay!
Don't get her too worked up. Okay, go.
Clothing
ahead.
optional.
Wow.
Right. I have to find
damn it.
you.
Chris has been around a very long
I mean, if
time.
clothing is optional, I mean, I can just like.
This.
Just not go crazy.
Yeah.
Is that wait, is that five?
Pingo.
Wait, is that
Hey,
fiver?
Just
Hey
all,
now.
I don't
A
think
river.
that you guys are ready for this jelly, though. I'm sorry.
The only thing that's not optional is this hat I've got on.
Sweet. This one's from last year, so it's
Wait,
in your
How
Twitter.
come I don't get sent?
It's in your Twitter.
You've already seen this.
I probably. Oh, I'm sure I have. Yeah. But you guys notice that some people are just so butthurt that people have fun.
I just don't usually put my face up because I'm happy.
They
with
just
having-
hate the cool kids. That's all.
I'm
happy
pretty
with
sure there's a
never
lot of
having-
institutions around people that just get mad about other people having a good time.
Right?
Can't
Real
think of the
women
word
don't
for it.
discuss it on live streams. Real feminists and people who actually care about women's right discuss it in public forums, so that way women can be more accepted to free their sexuality and anything else of that nature. So it sounds like you're a little bit misogynistic, and it sounds like some patriarchal bullshit you're spewing right there.
A little bit. And hey, Chesh,
Free your
aren't
mind,
there going to
douchebag.
be four women talking about this very concept really soon?
Yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure
think
that's
that there
on
are.
Tuesday on my
Sweet.
channel
That's
at
right.
9:30 p.m. EST this Tuesday coming up. I
And
do
what-
believe
and
it's
what-
called That Time of the Month.
Yeah.
Wait,
That
it's,
sounds
I was gonna
about
say, is that where I go to see the babes? But if they're on that time of the month, ooh.
It's that time of the month.
His taxes.
Is next week that time of the month?
Yeah,
Hey,
Defango,
real
we've
man loves this
already
woman every day of the month.
Defango, we've already synced up. Like we're already synced. We're already having our
Yes.
periods on that day. So
It's already.
That's some
That's why we're
planning
spending
right
our
there.
time talking about
I don't know.
things and
Steve
not
started
getting
talking
things
about
out.
his tool, and my body just automatically started its period out of self-defense.
Why does she have a
Good
ring
night.
still?
because our bodies can shut these things down. Apparently.
Yeah, I heard there was a senator
I'm
or
so
something
glad you
like
got that reference.
Yeah,
Yes.
because wasn't a senator that said that?
Actual rape, yeah.
Yeah, they said if it was actual rape, then the female body has the ability to self.
Yeah,
self
shut that whole thing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut that
Biology
whole thing
fail.
down.
Oh look,
I'm
Bob
scared
Jones.
to ask for the
confirmed.
research paper on
Bob
that one.
Right?
Hey, Steve, I
Actually,
have a
that
question.
mechanism is in sperm, not the female part. It's in sperm. That
It's the
mechanism.
female
Squid
squid
ink
ink defense.
No.
I have a squid hat, actually.
Where is it? Go get it.
It's actually in my daughter's room. Yeah,
Aw.
I'm not gonna go. grab
Like
that.
Yeah.
regular
Next
squid
one.
hat or like Splatoon style?
No, it's just like literally like a squid with
Yeah.
tentacles coming down with
That's
eyes.
still awesome.
Or
Yeah, I
I
have
would
one
say
of
it's more
You
of
can
an
collect
art
your
thing.
stuff.
Ed,
Anything's
I gotta
for
get
the
one of
win.
those.
Sweet.
Hey, Steve, I have a question for you.
Huh.
Yeah.
I keep hearing all these rumors. Is it true that you're responsible for JFK?
I will neither confirm nor deny that.
Where did that come from?
Steve shoved his
what?
tool
That's called-
right in there.
Wait,
Hang on one
responsible
second.
for making
Hang
or
Do you know-
killing?
James, do you know what that's called? That's called. You know the Glomar? Ever heard of the Glomar response?
No, I have not actually.
The Glomar response or glomarization is the response when somebody's asked you when you have confidential or information you cannot give. You say, I can neither confirm nor deny that. It's called the Glomar response. So they guys
Can I
learn
add
something.
something?
Yes.
Steve was the man on the grassy knoll.
Neither confirm nor
Can I
deny.
add something?
Oh.
Can I just say, I'm not saying Steve McRae is the Zodiac Killer. I'm just saying I've never seen Steve McRae and the Zodiac Killer in the same place at the same time.
This is true.
That's a valid observation. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Can't argue with that.
I heard that
What's
Steve
your alibi,
actually...
Steve?
I've never seen Defango and King Cobra in the same place at the same time.
You guys,
Or Cobra Commander.
you guys have never seen me and King Cock.
Hail Hydra.
Oh, hang on. You guys have never seen me and King
Hail
Crocodile.
Hydra.
You guys have
Can you
never
say
seen.
something about Cobra Kai?
You
Because
guys
I'm,
have-
I'm totally deaf to talk about Cobra Kai.
Have you guys ever
My
seen me
favorite
and
is
King
Cobra.
Crocodile on camera at the same time? No, you haven't. Therefore, I am King Crocodile.
Oh, shit.
I wish you were
King Cock.
Yes, I do.
Steve, I'm probably
He said
the one
King
person
Cock.
that
Worse,
has-
worse is sweet
Steve's
wishes I was
just really
King
good at
Crocodile.
throwing his
God
voice.
damn it.
Hey, Manya's trying to get in.
Yay.
Yay. Manya, I'll give you the direct link.
Dude, how many people could this thing have in it? This is crazy.
I think this is either 25 or 100. I don't know.
That's what people always ask me at the orgies,
How
but we
about
get to
25
I mean, I'm down to find out more about that.
Wait, sweet. Have you had a lot of people ask you how many people can fit in there? The orgy?
Are we talking about the room?
You invite the
That's the
room.
room. Are we talking about
The room, yeah,
Right,
the
one
room.
more.
The room
Okay,
size.
Steve, I just want to bring your attention to the fact that this wasn't me this time.
You're just in really good company.
Yes.
You guys think too much
I'm
alike.
not the only. I'm not
It's
the only one
normally
doing it.
Nikki lowering the tone.
We're a bunch of degenerate perverts, and
You just you have to remember the analytics of orgies.
Mine
For
has a
every
sticker. Thank you,
for
Manya.
every dick and pussy, there is an ass.
That's true.
That's very true.
Thank you, Manya, for the stupid
Words of
sticker,
wisdom.
Manya.
Now we can say that's what she said.
And keep in mind that there are also mouths. But Steve, your email is asksteveanything, right? At gmail.com?
Steve, ask anything.
And there was that man from Nantucket, something about ears and.
There once was a girl from Nantucket. No, the once is what was it? There once was
was a man
from
from
Nantucket.
a farmer who lived
Oh, I
on
want to
a
hear the
raft.
girl version. That
He
would be
sat
interesting.
on the meadow just shaking his fist at the boys who were down by the creek. Their feet in the water, their hands on their marbles and
Their hands on
playthings, and at
their
4:30,
marbles
there
and
came a
playthings
young
and-
Now,
lady.
keep-
looked like
keep-
a fine.
Keep in mind, I'm the sober one at the
Is there
moment
anything
here. Okay,
Chesh doesn't know? Any reference?
No.
she's
No,
the
I don't
queen
think
of
there-
obscurity.
That's why she's the gobble queen.
So let's get Manya in here real quick. She just gave us a super chat. Hi, beautiful.
Yes. There's
Hello,
always room for
everybody.
Manya.
Manya, we meet again.
I am.
Hello.
Manya,
Yeah.
you
Manya.
look,
I've met Manya
since I'm the
before.
sober one and
That's
polite one, I'm just going to say you look exceptionally beautiful tonight.
Oh my. Thank you. I know that. Say something new, please.
I remember your sister.
She, you know, her ego has
Those
got.
are some badass
know that.
headphones.
Say something new,
I
please.
love how Manya has changed over the year.
Thanks. Next.
Yeah, a year or so ago, she would be like this little mousy, like so non-egotistical. Just
I
these
know,
little
and then you brought her around all of us
self-deprecating-
and see what happens.
Right? I've turned her a goddamn diva. I've done well.
Yeah.
Watch, Manya's
You're
gonna
like, what
corrupt
do I do?
us
You're like,
fast.
I'm gonna get these people. It's time to get, we're gonna have these women corrupt Manya and get her out there. And now look what you did.
No, wait, she's
Look
Look
right
what
into
you
it.
made me do. Look
Sweet's
what
gonna
you
co-
made
or
me
not.
Now
Sweet, but she's gonna corrupt us.
It's
Oh,
all
that's what I'm
noble.
saying. Yeah, no, she's gone over even beyond.
She's learned about things that I didn't even heard of
He
before.
created a monster. Monster?
Well, you know, when you
Manya
live
store.
deprived,
Manya
Ooh,
store. I like
I like that.
I like that. Yeah. Manya store.
when you lived a repressed childhood, you know, the only thing we're missing here is actually is Nikki.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah, for the
Oh.
for the
Oh,
four
get
of us
Nikki in your face.
for that time of the
Nikki
month.
should be here.
I will give her the link, but she hasn't been feeling well.
Oh, yeah.
I hope she's feeling better by Tuesday, for sure, at least.
Sick Nikki. Oh
I
man.
miss my cider
Yeah, it
buddy.
won't be right without her.
Mm.
Especially with the topic we have. I don't think it's going to talk about.
We don't have our wrenches anymore. We have thrown off our chains. We are truly free.
Indeed.
I kind
You
of
know
feel
what's
free
funny?
without the wrench, to be honest.
You know what's funny? There's actually somebody in the chat saying this is an echo chamber. We literally have two moderators in the chat, me and Cheshire.
We've got
I lost
17
my
people
wrench.
in here.
Wrench,
17 people.
He's taking my wrench.
And what's funny is just I swear to God, just before we went on air, I had 4 people in this very hangout tell me, "Fuck you, Steve. This is the way we need to do it." And I'm like, okay.
It is true. That is what it is.
I think
I
what
just
has to
caved
happen,
in.
we need to
It's like,
start.
whatever,
We need to
whatever.
start arguing openly and publicly a lot more. I think because they don't understand.
It's like
They don't get it.
And
I hear this. You
and
can't
to
do it.
address
Hang
and
on.
to address
They are
Tank
not
Girl
bossing
Junkie,
Steve out, even though it's his channel.
I hear this all the time.
you
can't.
gotta ask Steve, Tank Girl Junkie. Don't ask me if you can get your wrench back, because I'm not the person that gives wrenches on this channel.
I hear this all the time. You can't disagree
what
with
about
Steve, and yet I swear to God, all people ever do is disagree with me. It's like
You know,
it's like okay.
you know, the most like funny thing is that if we did come out in the open and if we did like tell off like Steve, you know what? Well, those trolls will start saying, "Oh, wonder how long Steve will bear this thing." You know, they'll start saying that. Oh,
They're all turning on Steve.
Yeah, I get that all the time.
Oh
I didn't come here for the drama.
How many times have people said that I stopped being your friend, even when I didn't even not with unprompted? Never mind actually having a disagreement or talking in any way.
Sweet, it wasn't just you. You're
Because
special.
it's a favorite
Hold on.
narrative.
You're special, but there were other people too. I was told that you now hated me. Cheshire now hated me. Nick Suter changed sides. I've heard all these different things. It's like, really? News to me.
I abandoned you in Texas.
I heard that one too. I'm not kidding. I legit had heard a rumor that she left in Texas or something and just went home. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, Steve, I hate your guts. Why am I in this hangout with you?
Oh my god.
It's almost like you could dislike somebody and still get along with them, or you could disagree with somebody and still be friends, or you could hate somebody and not spend the next 3 years doing nothing but jacking off your own hate boner.
Yeah, it's actually possible. It's
Weird.
That sounds impossible, actually.
Considering how much people are, that there's a couple of people in here saying that we shouldn't be talking about sexually explicit things, we sure get a whole lot of hate boners thrown in our face all of the time. Like, if they're gonna be way more than I think it's only fair.
So many people who don't seem to understand that no means no.
Yeah, and what's worse is you're grown.
It's like a live version of that hot dog gift.
Here's the thing. You're all grown adults, and people have been repressed by religion for a very long time, right? And people are talk about religion, and people talk about the things that the problems in society that religion has done, and yet here we are with people that have been repressed. They're now openly, honestly talking about things because they're allowed to do so as adults. And yet people are trying to put him back in that same stigma of, oh, you can't talk about these certain topics. They're trying to put him back in that dogmatic religiosity type mindset.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
is that?
I have a crazy idea.
I think people are in general are just flat out afraid of the topic.
Yeah, well, I have a really crazy idea to solve that problem. Leave. Nobody's forcing me to watch this.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
You mean you can change the channel?
Change the channel.
Oh,
I
sweet.
Go ahead,
Sweet.
Jeff.
That's a really radical solution you're proposing.
I know.
I
It's completely
I don't know. That might be too much for people to handle here.
Well, Steve,
But it's our responsibility.
I don't get this whole concept that if you don't like someone, you can just
But Jeff,
I don't understand people who will walk into somebody else's house and then complain about their environment.
But
it's like
Jeff,
nobody forced you to come here.
But Jeff,
you know how we are
Jeff,
and what we like to talk about and the way that we banter.
Exactly.
It's
but
not
My dirty socks. You
But
don't
hang
like them? Go away.
Jeff.
Yeah. Hey, no, I don't
Jeff.
come into your life and tell you hello.
Jeff, Jeff,
Steve,
if my haters stopped watching, I would lose 2% of my subs. My views.
Oh, they love Steve. They love you secretly. You know this.
It's probably about 20% actually.
They can't get
They're just
hard
using you
without
for the boner, though. They don't really care about you.
Haven't I said for years the perfect?
They are just jacking themselves off to you
Haven't I ever said that the perfect ratio is 80% fans, 20% hate boners, 20% dislikes? So if you have 80% fans and 20% hate you, you have the perfect mix right there. Anyways, Vegan, my love, my other love.
Hi. Steve,
hey, girl.
you're just a grinchy poo.
We got a super chat. Super chat from Unfinished Journey for 5 says, the least Sweet Heathen could have done was to unlock the handcuffs before she abandoned Steve in Texas.
I wasn't going that into detail.
Well, Steve, there is
I've small wrist.
another odd aspect to these complaints this evening in particular. I mean, it's not as if we're turning a highbrow topic like ontology or something into a topic about handjobs. They are literally complaining about this topic on a rum and coke drinking night.
Which has been this on this channel for how many years?
This is a drinking night, and they're complaining about it.
And I'm so happy
It's the best time to complain.
This is obviously just people who haven't actually gone out for literally ever and have never been to a bar.
Right.
Real life people talk about.
If you have a problem with sexuality, I hear Stefan Molyneux is still making videos.
What? The dog's still? What the fuck, man?
Everybody, I'm going to mute everybody here in a second. everybody cannot talk at once. You have to listen to somebody else is talking, or else you cannot hear anybody. Lawrence was talking.
Yeah, come on.
Make sure you wait till somebody's done talking, because if not, I can't hear anything. But Chester's right. The Rum and Coke Nights are basically a bunch of friends who get together at a bar and talk. Only it's streamed, and we're not at a bar.
International.
Yeah.
I was the one talking.
So this is what it feels like to go into a bar. I've never been to one.
God damn it, Timo.
All right, so Karis go first, and then Lawrence. Go ahead.
I did. I was talking about it being Rum and Coke Night that they were complaining about.
Oh, okay. Somebody's doxing somebody. I can hear in the background. Who's doxing? Who's doxing somebody?
Not me. Not me.
No doxing
Sorry, that was me.
Damn it.
Also,
Sorry,
hi, I'm Karis Crane. I'm socially awkward and I turn every conversation into sex.
Legit.
It's a really safe go-to. I have no problem with that.
Did we get that last super chat?
Welcome to the party.
Right? It's a great topic.
How is that a bad thing?
Did we
Right?
Did we get the last super chat? Anybody?
Oh, Helio575.
See, my only.
Oh, sorry.
I would join in, but I'm in my friend's Discord and playing D2. I'm in there in hot with you all and Ilya. We need to do another music trade day.
Awesome.
Yeah, music trade days are baller.
Oh yeah, Shesh's music during the live today, it was so awesome. I was like, I want to go to sleep.
Oh, that
right
was
there.
that's Savick. Savic's great.
That was awesome.
Vegeta, I can dox Vegeta anytime. Vegeta just came into our hangout last room. Was it last room Coke she finally showed up?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Chesh.
Yeah.
Chesh, darling. Can I steal your hat?
No, it's mine. You have to find me first, and I can turn invisible.
That's the hat of
Another
invisibility.
thing we have to find on eBay now.
It's my
What's
Timo
that?
hat.
Oh, god dang
This
it.
is my first time.
I'm
in
willing
one
to
of
trade
these
you.
without.
Maybe one of these days because we're gonna do something like the non sequitur after dark. Maybe one of these days we should have a Rum and Coke after dark just for the Patreons and members.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh, there it is.
And
Now
somehow
we're
you still get people
Cash
complaining.
grab.
Kawasa for 5 said, "Oh, they don't have any problems with sexually explicit talks. They only have problems if it's in Steve's hangout. Hitting on Steve will cure cancer."
Oh, that's true though.
If we could only
Yeah,
tap
yeah.
that
Hitting on
energy.
Steve is a cancer at this point.
You know that cancer of shyness? Yeah, that. You know? Okay, I just booked. Sorry.
Yeah, it's so funny that people are like how I treat women, yet it's like almost all women in here. I treat women extremely well because I'm
I
very
could tell
offensive.
Steve right now, and he would listen to me like a good.
Yeah, he's
boy.
the victim, if anything.
Well, that's because I'm scared of death.
Just tokenism.
That's what it is. I'm mostly scared of death by them. That's why.
Are you saying that Steve's the token black guy?
Oh, he's the whitest black
Yes.
guy I've ever seen.
Yes, I am.
No, actually, right now, Sweet's the token black woman.
Aye. Yes.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought I was that.
Oh, hey,
You're
what
not
the
Oh,
heck?
yeah. Well,
She is.
Manya. Well, I don't even honestly. I don't know your race.
I'm Indian. I'm Asian. So yeah,
Oh,
I'm from Indian subcontinent. So I thought I was the black. Okay, whatever,
Sweet is
whatever,
actually
Steve,
black.
whatever.
I'm half African, so that's why he's saying that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you beat me. Sorry.
Yeah, you
But
beat me in
actually-
blackness level.
Talk about
Skin tone, though. Manya
intersection.
is darker than me.
Speaking
Wow.
of quotes that
Colorism.
are be taken out of context.
This is
Yeah,
colorism
no.
101.
Yeah,
If
now
it
they're going to
helps-
say this is racist.
Racist.
If it helps monetization, I'm Jewish.
I'm Jewish too.
Oh,
So is Steve. Yeah.
It got
I actually
Yeah,
have
he's
it at
tough.
a party
Yeah.
that Steve is the one that pissed off Hitler and started the whole thing.
Oh,
It's
my
all
God.
him.
Well,
Original
look, I
Nelson.
He
I always
also
say,
shot
look,
Franz Ferdinand.
We have more
Yeah.
multicultural.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Seriously, we have more multiculturalism here than most SJW hangouts.
Well,
More variety.
Who's the token
absolutely.
white?
Well,
dude here?
look at me. Look at
I'm
me,
white.
for example.
I'm very, very white.
Guys, hold on. Jeff is trying to say something.
Yeah, look.
Yeah. The one thing about Karis is nobody can hear her. So Karis,
Hold on. Jeff has been trying to say
Oh,
something
Jeff?
for like a minute.
Okay.
Let him go.
A little bit of multiculturalism expressed in the UK here. I was born in Scotland to English parents. My surname is Welsh and my first name is French.
So he's the
Pretty-
whitest.
pretty
so you're the muddiest
Yeah.
mutt in here.
Yeah, I'm Italian and
There's no such
Polish.
one as a pure fucking British person, really.
I'm Italian and Polish, so I've been told I'm not a real white person.
I'm also Polish.
Original.
You know what's funny?
Oh,
It's
here
funny.
we go.
Sweden's been told she's not really white and she's not really black. It's just not
Yeah, I
even
don't
really
get it
a woman.
anywhere.
Yeah, she's
It's the
not
first
anywhere.
being biracial.
Welcome to the club.
And you know what's funny
Welcome to the club.
it's all the haters that are actually telling people like Sweet, you're not this, you're not that. It's like
Oh yeah, but that's because we're the racist.
we're the ones that don't accept people for who they are, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Original Allison for 5 said that's awesome, Kawasa, because I'm pretty sure listening to Vader vaping Vader gave cancer. And then Stupid Horror Energy for 5 said if Chesh and Sweet Heathen kissed, it would look like incest porn.
That's true, Sarah.
Has to be our twins.
Sorry, I just caught a little bit of Monya on screen there, and Monya's eyes were like, what?
Josh, wait a minute. But if we're the same person, then is it it goes back to that question of if you had sex with your clone, you know where I'm going with that.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say, incest is wincest.
Why
I mean,
am I getting
if we ever
warm on my
want to like
cheeks
find
and-
out?
Wow.
I found that as cooperative.
Incest again, the whole family.
The aristocrats.
The Aristocrats.
The whole family.
Oh my god, I hated that movie. That movie Aristocrats, I didn't think it was funny. I'm sorry, and I have a warped sense of humor. But
But what about the Aristocats?
Aristocats.
There we go.
Everyone
And-
loves cats.
But everybody
Like,
says
that's
it's
the
racist
internet.
now because the Siamese cat was playing the chopsticks.
No, it was racist as fuck, but it was hilarious.
You know,
Do you guys remember back in the day with Eddie Murphy and
You have
Richard
to remember
Pryor?
what it was
Those were the most racist acts in the world, and they were the most funniest things I've ever heard in my life. Richard Pryor was the king of comedy. And back in the day when Eddie Murphy used to be funny.
Well, that's
Well, you
it's
can call it also.
how it's how you do it, right?
Yeah.
It's the intention behind it. If you're being racist against your own race, or if you're doing it as a hyperbolic thing where people are it's intentionally racist to be ironic, is very different from doing it to actually insult a race or a culture.
Oh, absolutely.
There's actually, I
Very
think
different.
in the chat might be getting confused. There's the Siamese cats from Lady and the Tramp, and that's the "We are Siamese."
Yeah, that's it.
Then
They are
the
pricks.
Aristocats, in the band, there's a cat that plays the piano, and he's a Siamese cat, and he's playing chopsticks on the piano with chopsticks.
Do you guys remember one of the most all-time racist characters, Archie Bunker by Carol O'Connor? The most funniest, best all-time things in the world. And yet he
in the family, yes.
Yeah, he hated that
Steve.
character. He hated playing that character. He didn't like it because that was just the antithesis of how he really was. But he played that to a freaking T.
He was so
hilarious.
good at it.
Steve, I've got to say something about that
What
character.
about the crows in Dumbo?
I have to give you some backstory on that character.
The guy who said he was gonna,
Dumbo.
the hater who said he was
Right,
gonna
okay.
unsub is now saying they're unsubbing for a different reason, but they're still here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Bye, James.
I was
All
gonna
right,
say,
Jeff, go.
Very nice.
Jeff, go.
Sorry to
I've
see
got
you
to get
go, but
something
also
on this.
thanks for staying.
Sorry, I've got to get something in here on
Yeah,
the
Jeff,
old
go.
Archie Bunker thing.
His tool.
Right. Do you know Archie Bunker was based off of a British TV character called Alf Garnett?
I knew it was based off some British character. I didn't know the name.
Yeah, well, and it's an interesting story about that. That basically, it was basically that series was based on a British series called Till Death Us Do Part, and there's the lead
That's right,
character,
yeah, I
remember
Alf
this.
Garnett,
Yeah.
who was this obviously racist, sexist, misogynist, but a lot of people in Britain just went mad at it at the time, saying this character's this whole character's racist. But if you ever watched an episode of that, if you ever looked at the character that was made to look at the butt of the joke at every episode, it was Alf, the racist, misogynist bigot. But But the guy who played him is a guy called Warren Mitchell, who was, again, probably a similar thing with Archie Bunker, was similar thing with the actor. Warren Mitchell, the character who played, the guy who played this most famous racist on British TV, was like a lifelong socialist. just like lifelong member of like the British Labour Party, and he used to get like the Conservative Party would used to phone him up to do rallies and stuff, and he'd tell him, "You do realise I'm a card-holding member of the Labour Party." They didn't want him; they just wanted him to come and play bloody Alf Garnett. But that was what the character Archie Bunker was based on. This British character Alf Garnett, who is, I mean, if you get British humour, you'd love this character. But the thing is, the thing is, and this is what people don't get about this show, is that the bigger Alf was made to look the butt of the joke at the end of every episode. And that's what a lot of people didn't get about it. A lot of the people who were outraged didn't get that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. It's that it's made to be ironic on purpose. Like, it's not pushing the racist ideas; it's mocking them.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really
actually-
important.
it's not the word
One
for
of
that.
his carers
Laughing
was
at it.
gay.
We should let the Milwaukee atheist go. He's got to take off.
Yeah, I gotta head out. But
Oh, you gotta
tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, on the Milwaukee Atheists channel, we're gonna do Atheist Sunday School. We're gonna have Landon Knoll on, and I'm sure everyone here loves Landon.
Landon!
I love Landon.
Oh hell yeah!
Landon.
Yes,
didn't tell you
so it's
guys
gonna
that.
be
Awesome.
Nice.
gonna be a good
I
time
adore him.
tomorrow.
Landon is
Make
God
sure you
off the
join us
ball.
for that. But either way, thanks for having me on.
Always a
But I
pleasure, my
I
friend.
gotta do some research.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
You know,
I'll see
Have
you
a
guys.
great
Have a
night.
good night.
Hi.
Sweet.
Send me those
Bye.
links.
Yeah, Landon's actually had my cider.
Talking to Landon was the most fun I had in a hangout in a long ass time.
That's cool.
Oh, he's wonderful. Absolutely.
No, every time I'm on Rum and Coke, Langdon is not here. Where is he?
Where's Langdon?
I usually give him the link, but I think he was out of town. I know he's doing some things, but
Landon is a busy boy.
he's a busy boy.
Landon is
Beetlejuice
busy.
finally exploded.
No, I just
And
saw,
Landon also-
no. I just saw Beetlejuice tonight. It's still there.
Landon is also anti-YouTube. Like, he doesn't like to just show up on only YouTube anymore. He's kind of made a point of that because YouTube actually banned him for life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I finally saw the End Time show about that. Just a few days ago, I saw it.
Yeah. He only got banned for life because he didn't have a channel that had any contact on it, and he couldn't find it, which is pretty crazy.
Which is really fucking stupid if you think about it.
Yeah, it made no sense to me either. I don't know how YouTube.
A
But
lot
you
of
have
what
to
YouTube
have
does
a
doesn't make
channel to
sense.
type. Because it automatically makes you, when you have a Google account, it essentially automatically, when you sign into YouTube, it automatically makes you a channel. So they're basically forcing you to have a channel and then punishing you for not producing content on it when you might actually just be part of a community or you might be chatting.
Yeah.
So they're
exactly.
punishing you for engaging on their own platform, which is kind of
It's really
Stupid.
weird. And then
Really
how long
dumb.
for anybody else? Because most people are like that. Most people don't have their own content. I don't have any content on my channel. I'm around.
have
I'm on
any
other
either.
people's channels. I don't have anything on my own. Not yet.
People
But they
reporting
can't
to
make money
Steven
off
and
of you if
Steven
you're not making
to-
anything for them for free.
Who's singing?
Ridiculous.
That was me.
Stop.
Wait,
Also, it's really
they're
annoying.
already making money off of you.
I predict that people are going to start reporting this to Steven now because it's a way to troll her. Oh, you don't have content on your channel?
Well,
Ooh,
it wasn't
target.
just that though. He had
Oh,
actually
I
been
see.
saying
Okay.
stuff in the live chat, and that the stuff he had said for some reason somebody reported, and it was one thing after. It was just it's a long story.
You know what it was that was a final straw, though? That's freaking hilarious because Red Eye is one of his best friends, right? And he said Australia doesn't exist. And of course, this is hyperbole. It's a joke, whatever you want to call it. It's just like, that one thing was what they got him on.
What do you mean that's hyperbole in a joke, Paul? I thought Australia didn't exist.
I guess you can't type that in live chat
Be
or
careful.
something.
Be careful. Don't get banned, Jeff.
Okay.
Well, he didn't type in the live chat, so it doesn't count.
I'll say one
fuck,
thing
I was
about
tempted.
Langdon. For IT guys, Langdon is sort of God.
Well, yeah, dude. I can't. I'm not going to tell you where he works, but I can tell you that he's a very well educated individual, and he knows his stuff very well.
Can I correct you there? Bull is God.
No, it's
You
definitely
know what? I
Langdon.
think Bull would even admit that Landon is at least equal deity to him.
Yeah.
If Landon ever went to the dark
Yeah,
side, it would be a dark
I
day
used
for
to
the
be a
internet.
polytheist,
Right?
so I
Yes,
can-
it would.
The dude can lit.
Yeah.
I bet you if Landon set his mind to it, he'd probably shut down the entire internet.
Probably.
Oh,
I
definitely.
mean, he helped
Yeah.
develop some of the TCP/IP protocols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I used to be a polytheist, I could accept that both Bull and Landon are gods.
There you go.
So
One of
Yep.
these days, I'm going to get on here, and Langdon's going to be on.
One of these days, I believe in you.
One of these days.
He's on all the
One
time, dude.
Yeah, I was.
I'd love to come on with Landon, but I
Wait, you
kind
wanna
of,
come on
I'm
Landon?
kind of like.
You like him that much?
No. I'd love to be
Sounds
on
like
a stream with. I'd love to be on a stream with Landon, but
We've all got our fantasies, I guess.
I almost kind of feel like we are not worthy. We are. Not, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that one.
We're not worthy.
We're not worthy. We are scum. We are scum.
Here's the thing about Landon is he's like uber smart. He's one of the I think he might be the smartest person I know.
He is the smartest person.
But
Easily.
at the same time, he's one of the most approachable and down to earth people you'll ever meet.
He's
Oh,
so
yeah.
patient.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and he'll
Yes.
he'll talk about all this stuff
incredibly
that we talk
patient.
about anytime, man. He'll get in the. Hey,
Yeah,
Mikey!
Hey, Mikey's
Listen to him
here.
like do that little cough.
Oh,
Notice
it's
me.
Mikey.
Notice me. That's what he said.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing about Landon, though. If you approach Landon like that, he's so terribly shy that it would be awkward for both of you.
This is true.
Last time I met Mikey, I made him mad.
I don't know. I had lunch with
You made me
Landon
mad.
about a month and a half ago, and he'd never seen my face and didn't know my real name, and I met up with him in Seattle, and he was pretty chill the whole time. So
He's the coolest
I
guy.
will meet
Yeah.
up with Landon eventually.
Yeah.
That's a given.
Who was I
Mikey,
mad
I've
at?
been hanging with you.
It was
God's
me and a
honor.
couple other girls.
What was I mad about? I don't.
I don't remember.
I might have
It
been
was
joking.
one-
I joke mad a lot. So
It was me. There was a girl who had a hoodie on that had little ears on it, I think, and I was a girl with a white face as her profile picture. Now for red leaf.
As Mikey is, it's he's always angry, and that's his secret.
Oh, okay.
right,
He-
like
The Hulk.
He's just
I didn't necessarily direct my anger at you. That's
Oh
just
no.
actually
you were,
how I am
you were
at you.
cool. We were all just picking on you anyway.
Mikey has to repress
Oh.
his anger quite often. It's just
We were
fuck
getting
that.
off on you.
No, fuck that.
let it go.
I have an
Let
issue
it go.
with Mikey right now.
I'm super tired, so y'all are gonna get chill me for next.
You're not gonna
Whatever.
get angry, you. We missed angry, you.
Well, congratulations,
cool.
sweet. You've been
Mikey,
replaced as the
don't-
token
I
black.
was
give it
just gonna
excuses.
say.
I'm
I was
also
just
tired,
gonna
okay?
say. I have an issue with Mikey right now because I know the only reason he's here is because you called me the token black and he had to upstage me.
Yeah, because now
Of course
Sweetie
he
is not
did.
going to be black enough to count.
Colorism.
Of course it had to.
I remember.
I'm
I
back to being
remember
just another white girl.
I remember a time where I was on the short list for things like this, and I didn't find out till. I mean, shit. My
Mikey-
wrench is gone.
Mikey, you got
No
fired.
one's
You got fired
answering
for
me
not
back.
being black enough.
I'm tagging everybody like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" Y'all was like, "Pfft."
I said hi. I said hi.
Because Boole
I
is
said
the
hi.
only good person in here. The rest of y'all are a bunch of monsters.
I never
to be
claimed
fair,
to be
no,
the
I'm not
good
in the
person.
seven
chat.
people
I am
in
a
here.
monster.
That's not my fault. I'm not in the chat. I did not see that.
Yeah, I couldn't even tag you because you weren't even in there. You're right.
Are you
Right.
kind shaming
Mikey,
Mikey? Are you
wait,
kind
hey,
shaming people,
Mikey-
calling them monsters and
I
shit?
am drunk,
one
so
sec, one
I'm
sec.
excused. I'm not reading the chat.
Mine-
so-
Mikey,
Manya-
Mikey,
Oh,
Mikey,
shit, Manya's
Mikey,
drunk.
one sec,
You
Mikey.
know I'm on your
And
side.
I don't
Mikey,
meddle enough.
you
so
are in the group.
whatever.
By the way, Mikey, you're in the group mailing list. I sent the link out through the mailing list. Did you check your email?
Mhm.
That's not his
I
fault.
don't know why you
Hey,
changed
that's where
the
I
subject.
found out.
Why are you changing the subject, Steve? Why are you writing an email? What does that have to do with anything?
You're starting to sound like a Republican. What about my
victimization
email?
shit.
What are you talking about? Notification. What is this?
What's Defango doing? Mate, what you up to?
Yeah, mate.
Oh, I'm just
Mike
clicking
drunk
around
flirting
on my
with you.
computer, smoking
Okay.
weed, chilling. Oh, I
Hey.
was working on moving my server. I have a local computer that I was running some data analytics on, and now I'm putting it on an Amazon cluster. So I'm just kind of clicking away over here.
Oh, so that's hella boring.
I
Okay.
saw that video of yours where you like analyze like all Unirox and Nates and other people who were talking about Steve and how you like analyze their data. And that was like fantastic. I loved it.
Oh, we
Loved
should
it.
tell
What
Manya.
language
We
did
should
you
tell
write it in?
Manya the new nickname. It's Vaping Vader.
Vaping Vader. I like
Wait,
that.
I gotta make sure
Nice.
this is, I gotta make sure this is actually Jen because it's unverified. Jen, is that actually you?
Yeah.
I mean,
Alright,
yeah, I
it's-
sent them
Hi!
the link through Twitter, so yeah, it's them.
Jen, how you
Hey,
been?
Jen.
Hello.
It's been
With the transphobe, so I asked if I could come in.
there, Manya, but
Hang on, Jeff. Hang on, Jeff. Hang on. What was that, Jen?
I just said I just needed to spend some time with a transphobe,
Oh,
so I
that's
thought
sweet.
I'd come in.
We love you for that. Thank you. You're transphobe too, from what I understand now. Is that correct?
Oh, am I?
I don't know.
Self-hating?
You came in the
Self-hating.
channel.
Yeah.
We'll just hang on everyone tonight.
I've been saying
Guilt
bad things.
by
that some people don't
association.
like.
Yeah.
Yep.
How's your
Guilt by
stuff been
association
coming
it
along,
is.
Jen?
What?
How's your stuff been coming along?
My stuff?
Yeah, like what you've been doing.
Stuff.
Ooh, secrets.
I haven't talked
Yeah,
to her
what's
in a while,
stuff?
so.
I'll be right back.
Actually, we do have
be
a
right back.
topic for our first production. I'm not going to tell you what it is,
Wait, I do.
but we are.
Wait. Who are you doing? Can I ask who you're doing the
pro-
production with, or is it somebody? Is there who I thought? I mean, you're not doing who with
It'll
you're not doing who with.
it'll pretty much be.
Go ahead.
It'll pretty much be me all by myself.
Okay. You're not doing it with somebody else that you used to do it with, right?
Okay, Mikey, do you remember me now?
No.
I changed my picture.
Although if somebody wants, they could drop me in line and want to get involved. It has to do with photography, imaging, and how stupid
Awesome.
flat earthers are.
Yay!
Yay! Or anti-flat Earth stuff.
We got a super chat from Devious Doggo for 5 that says, "Thank you, my holy pope and savior, for unhiding me. If I can't talk to Steve, how can I know my truth? LOL question mark.
You're welcome.
LOL.
I am your truth.
That's adorable.
Yeah. So
Steve is the truth, the way,
Steve
and the
is the way
life.
in the life. Oh my god.
I am the way in the life. This is why people think I have a cult.
Oh, hell, Steve.
You know what's funny is I'm not even one promoting cult shit, and yet you guys are trying to profit this up as a cult. They all these girls sat around one day and asked what they should wear for the cult, and the reason why they didn't want to form a cult is that none of them could fucking figure out which kind of shoes they wanted to wear for it. That's why they didn't form a cult.
I told you
That sounds like some patriarchal bullshit right there.
Steve is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to Daddy but by him.
Yeah, so that's why we don't have a cult. Shoes.
Chuck Taylor classics. Chuck Taylor classics. You can pick your own color.
But we're naked.
Bright red.
We're
Bright red.
chucks, but we're naked.
As long as mine have a lip.
Well, that was the deal. You know,
Maybe
Vegan. 90% of your life is spent naked.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes.
She
Hey, we're
she
all born that
legitimately
way.
puts on clothes when we have to go on air.
We
It's
get
like weird.
yep.
I would like to point out that once again, it was not me who started this one.
Yes, oh bullshit! You are the catalyst.
Oh, your voice is ringing the bell though.
That's like 2 out of 15. Or
Oh, Mikey, I can ring your bells.
one.
Good God.
Oh.
I'm gonna get stabbed.
That's the wrong part of the country. Those
Mikey's
fighting words.
invisible girlfriend is going to be very mad at you.
Yeah,
Mikey,
she's sharpening a knife in the kitchen.
Now,
as we speak.
I look. I gotta be honest, like usual. I have seen his girlfriend, and she's amazing.
What?
Way out of his league,
Fuck, man.
but amazing. She does exist. I cannot say she's
All
amazing.
down, all down with King Steve.
I don't know
He
what the
ruined
fuck
it.
he did. I don't know what the hell he said to her. But whatever.
Look,
Let's
when
be
you
honest,
got it
look,
like
look.
that, you
Mikey's
just got it like that. You know what I'm saying?
imaginary
Hey, Mikey,
girlfriend.
here's this'll ring your bell as you put it. Me and the other girl were talking about traveling to your girlfriend, and she was going to take your girlfriend away from you.
I was just gonna say
You gotta
that.
be a
I'm
little
like,
bit more
I live-
specific. That's what
I
everybody
live
says.
I live really
wow.
close to
That's
Mikey
a
now,
plan.
so
Yeah, she does.
I'm thinking I need to like do some
You have to get on that.
for a second. Yeah.
Hey,
Mikey,
Steve, I
check
think
out
Jared
the
is
window
one
on
thing.
Fine.
My
think Jared-
my
Steve, I think Jared
imaginary
wants one.
girlfriend. My imaginary girlfriend is highly sought after. So good luck. I mean,
Yeah, you showed us a picture of her, and I was like, oh, She's so pretty.
Oh, I've actually
Am
talked
I
to
the
her.
only one who hasn't seen her? Seriously?
Maybe.
I saw a picture.
I've actually
photoshopped clearly.
I have talked to her. Yes, she does exist.
That's not fair.
Hey, what can I say?
Although I can only talk to her when Mikey's around for some strange reason, a little control freak, but whatever.
You gotta talk to her. She's the one. She hates all of this.
She does.
She hates all of this. Like
she doesn't like what you do.
And she is correct.
She hates it. She hates all of it.
Listen
she
to her,
thinks
Mikey.
it's
I
all
used
so
to too,
stupid.
honestly.
Okay, I'm drunk now. I'm so drunk.
Yay,
I'm so drunk. Manya's mating call. I'm so drunk.
Now it's a party.
Now it's a party. Manya's drunk.
Manya, where's the peanut butter?
Hold on, I gotta show
Chris,
my.
of course. I already gave him the link. Jared has the link. I already gave it to him. I gave it to him directly.
Oh, you did?
82?
Yeah.
There it is.
82 is not feeling well today.
Oh,
Yeah, he wasn't feeling well.
Yeah, he's been pulling a vaping Vader, and it's just been
Oh,
out
yes.
Right, okay.
Hey, Josh.
Gotcha.
Josh, you
Yeah.
really want to mess with the trolls? I think
No,
next time. I think next time you're on screen with Puck, you need to pull out some peanut butter.
Okay,
Oh yes.
Oh.
Yes. Do it. Oh my God.
You'll be the first 2020 channel, the first channel in
I don't know what
2020 to
to
be
do with that.
demonetized for bestiality.
Oh no.
Josh,
I'm not
you
trying
have
to
to
do anything
see-
with the peanut butter. I'm saying just be on screen with Puck and the peanut butter.
I'm reporting
Yeah.
it immediately.
Who wants
They've already done
Skippy
that.
peanut butter?
Now I want to know.
I'm
if
reporting
Bad
you right
Bag-
now to YouTube.
I want to know if Bad
I'm
Bag
gonna
is
say though.
a Pong toy for dogs.
Wasn't something
I'll
like that on
explain to
Twitter?
those who may not understand the reference. There were people that actually were calling Josh out for being part of bestiality just because she loved, she was playing with her dog. So
Oh,
Yeah.
you heard it. She was playing with her dog. There you go. That was sexual.
Well, to be fair, look, come on, give Cheshire a break. She's only 17. She's not sexually mature yet.
And by the way, Puck,
Yeah.
and by the way, we don't know
She hasn't got her head around a lot of concepts yet. Yeah.
Puck may have given consent.
I'm also a
17, give her a
goblin.
break.
I'm also a goblin, which means I might not have the same sexual preferences as you human peoples.
Puck, do you give consent?
Very
well.
Puck,
well.
Wait.
What are those
knows?
sexual preferences, though?
Puck,
even
blink
the same
twice if you
anatomy.
need help.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up, the anatomy.
I think
your
I've already
goblin
established
must
you said
love
that.
gold.
The legendary fourth hole.
So what's it called?
Okay.
Is it called a what is it that the birds have? Is it a cloaca?
Cloaca.
Yeah.
Cloaca.
So is that the
reptiles.
legendary fourth hole?
No, that's no.
the
you
only
lost
hole.
it.
Hey,
No,
what
no, no. I'm
words for
saying
that?
no. I'm saying have 1, 2, then that one also.
No, that's the nasty one. You don't want.
There's a
you don't
both.
want
There's
that.
a both
you don't,
option.
No, you don't want that
Everything
one.
comes out.
Oh, man.
Yeah, everything comes out the same spot. That's a horrible hole to have.
That's called a
Both
tear.
option.
Yeah, you just gotta avoid that all of your nonsense comes out of.
Yeah, read the Altered Carbon books. You'll find out what the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th hole are.
I do believe there is. I do believe
get
there's
pretty
a D&D. There's a D&D
close the eye
book that's
sockets.
called the Book of Erotic Fantasy. So it's basically got all the rules if you want to have like sex, then it's got all the rules if you want to have like all that good stuff going on. And I'm pretty sure it's got a chart of like which species are compatible, like which races are compatible with other races, and whether or not they can get pregnant.
So,
Like Klingons
you're
have like
right.
4 hearts.
Wow.
So you might be able to
there's a little
find
bit of an
some.
echo.
Yeah, you might be able to find out something about goblins in there.
I don't
We'll
know
have
why
to
no,
go
but
Okay, I guess I have to go buy that book.
Nikki says,
Hi,
"Tell
Nikki.
Mikey I miss him," and I did ask Nikki to join, but she wasn't feeling well. But she did tell me some very
Oh.
disgusting things that she wanted to do with Mikey. But I was like,
Oh,
"You need to tell him that
Nikki.
directly."
Nikki.
I'm not gonna
Nikki,
Have a good night,
tell me
Boo.
those disgusting things. I want to hear all about it.
Hey, Bull.
She is words
Hi,
I'm not
Nikki.
that familiar with.
Oh, I'm back again.
Nikki has her own sexual vocabulary.
Oh yeah.
She's
yeah,
omnisexual.
So I'm still trying to get imaginary girlfriend to let me produce the sex cast on Pornhub, and I would be the producer with Nikki and a friend of mine, and they could do all of their kink nastiness. And I got threatened with physical violence. So I said I was kidding. That was a joke. She just left the room. Baby.
Oh, that's fine.
Hey,
I'll
baby.
volunteer for that job.
That's
Sweet
probably
can
gonna
do
get you in more trouble.
I'll train.
I
I'll
can
just
do what I
train-
want.
Yes, Sweet.
I'll train.
Sweet, you're
I'll
hired.
train Sweet.
Yeah.
I'll
she's
train
hired.
Sweet how to run everything on OBS.
Oh,
and
she'll
then
train you.
she'll be good.
Oh, on OBS. I was gonna say. So I was
You
gonna say
didn't let me
other things
finish.
she'll train you.
I do have a lot to
Is
learn.
can
I'm
I
very
ask
willing.
a question about Pornhub? Is self-rape like a form of porn? Because I was just wondering if there maybe might testify.
Everything
Kyle-
is a form of porn.
Yeah,
It
well,
Literally
It's
everything.
not a form of porn. You are now responsible to
Yeah, I was
create
just
it.
thinking if somebody,
Right.
you want to get somebody who's
It's a
like,
moral
raped-
obligation, really.
Yeah.
It really
I was wondering if the kind on the whole case is like maybe like self-rape or something. Because maybe they broadcast Cole's appearance in front of the judge when it eventually happens.
Is that
I
what
just don't
happens when you're
understand
half
what that
awake?
even
Yeah. By the way, just out
Oh.
of the, I can tell you this: for the last 8 years, I've had people threaten to report my channels. Do you know how many of them actually went through? 0. And I'm talking hundreds of times. People have and I know YouTube has actually messaged me on 3 or 4 of them, and one of them was a privacy concern. I fought every single one of them. I fought every DCMA. I've never lost, ever. And so this channel is pretty much almost whitelisted at this point, because of false claims against this channel.
Oh, we'll do something
They've
about
false
it tonight.
flagged
We'll
you
do
into being a
something.
protected class.
Yeah, pretty much. They whitelist.
Steve's a protected class. McBoomer protected class.
Well, you blame
Please
I
don't.
think it's really funny that
Use
people want to
white
complain
privilege.
about something that
This channel has never broken
people do.
TOS.
Yeah.
Of course not.
I've totally gotten deleted for breaking TOS before, but I came back because I'm awesome.
It's almost like people don't actually know what the service actually mean or what they do. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, once upon a time we had a recording from Discord that people were like, "Wait a minute, you have an illegal recording because they have to be in a two-party state," and it's like that's not how that's not how Discord works. And they were like, "But it's against terms of service." And I'm like, "That's not what
That's
those
not what it
say."
means, Jeff. By the way,
no,
Jeff,
it's
you have a echo, Jeff. But here's the thing. Correct me if
Is
I'm
that
wrong.
coming from Jeff?
Yeah, Chess. Correct me if I'm wrong. Being butthurt is not against.
I
terms of
shouldn't
service,
do,
right?
Steve, because I was muted when you said that. But
No, I saw it.
Okay.
You weren't. I had to mute you.
I'm gonna mute myself now, right?
Okay.
Yeah, your personal butthurt is not against the terms of service.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Okay,
Also, knowledge point, because phones is my work. As long
Well,
as you
why
are
not?
in a single party state, it don't matter what they're in. Because if you are in a single party state, you can record whatever you want because you are that single party.
Well, when you're doing
Yeah,
when
but
you're
with
doing
Discord,
when you're doing Google lawyering, you're not going to end up faring well often, right? And
but with
Discord,
Discord,
Discord's open.
it does. Discord makes you aware that it's basically when it comes down to something along the lines of expected privacy, like when you're on a call.
Oh, yeah.
You expect Discord isn't a place like that. You don't have that expected privacy on Discord.
Right.
On top of it, it
They
also
have a
gives you an
go
alert.
live button.
Oh, yeah,
very
they have
reason,
a lot,
right?
but they also, when somebody is recording, there's an icon that comes up, so you can know when somebody is recording and or
And you
streaming.
can
It tells
leave.
you. So there's
Imagine that.
continue the conversation. You're already consenting to it passively by not doing anything about the person actually doing it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
these
You
people-
can leave. You can walk away.
These people they'll Brandon, can you mute? By the way, you're getting a lot of background noise.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's a cool man. But people try to do is they look for any little thing they can, like any crack they think they can shove their narrative through, and
Their hate boner down.
Their hate
Their
boner, yeah, they want to
tool.
stick their hate boner in any crack
So,
they can
yeah.
find.
The wrench.
Ah, crap! I was gonna say something, but whatever.
I mean,
That Kyle thing yesterday, I sent the same thing how many times? You guys read it how many times? In North Carolina, there's a precedent against exactly what happened with Kyle.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, it's worse than that. And by the way, my lawyer was loving this, but it's worse than that. Because I actually had pointed out to him that he cut out case law from a Nevada Carson City template. It was a stay. What he filed was a stay. To suspend or vacate a motion of a garnishment and execution of judgment. We didn't file a writ of garnishment nor a writ of execution of judgment. He asked to actually set aside 2 writs we never filed because he got it off the internet. I'm like, oh my,
And I'll say
from
something.
Nevada.
That's
I
funny.
think he just really is butthurt he didn't get dumb fuck of the year, and he's going for it in 2020.
He's trying his best.
I will personally nominate him. Seriously, I'll do that.
He swore an affidavit that says that he had not been served with a summons with a complaint, right? And yet we have audio of him saying that he was served and talking about the court case. You cannot say you were served and you were talking about the court case and then say why I had no knowledge of the court case, because that's what he's trying to pull. I wasn't served. I had no knowledge of it. Bullshit.
Oh yeah,
But
this actually showed up on my Twitter because they somebody named Brody, I think, or something.
Yeah, that
we don't know.
We don't know who he is really.
I have no idea who these people are, but anyways, he.
It's okay. You don't want to. Just say lawful evil.
I have no idea who this person is for real.
Paul lawful evil, right? Okay.
Okay, lawful evil dude. He did a post about process serving, and of course, I was
Hang on, guys. You cannot talk over everybody. Vegan, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm late. Steve, just white screen vegan atheist.
Well, I'll white screen it, but that doesn't do any good for the audio. But okay, now I white screened you.
All right, and so I replied back saying that I said because they were talking about process serving. And so I responded back. I said, it doesn't matter. Kyle admitted to receiving it on camera. Bottom line, he was served. And somebody else came back in, and because I don't know any of these people that are just coming out of the woodworks,
that's why
right?
Just block them all if you don't care. Honestly, just not worth your time.
I'm trying to find out, because they got to a certain point. It was an interesting conversation. And this guy came back, not according to the judgment in the second highest court in North Carolina. They found that even if a person thought they were served, if they were served improperly, the court has no jurisdiction over them, and the case must be dismissed. Jesus. And then somebody else, and I respond, I said, I bet you're the type of person that would fight a speeding ticket knowing you did in fact speed. I said, Kyle fucked up, tried to steal non-sec from his partner, and he should have apologized, took a few weeks off, and we would have still had the original non-sec. And then there's somebody else who came in and was like, so do you have proof that Kyle did in fact legally have his address listed as the address it was sent to? You must have proof for your claim if you want to be taken seriously. Even Steve said he knew it was an old address. So I'll wait.
After the service, yeah, because
I've been enjoying.
They're so stupid. Okay, so let me make this very clear to people. I read the certificate of summons. Okay, I have nothing to do with the process. Absolutely nothing. Okay, Kyle said that he left after he got served. He said he moved in with his boyfriend.
Oh!
Right? That's what I was referring to. When he was served, my lawyer took care of all that. I had nothing to do with it, and they used what was called the last known address, by the way, which was the business address that Kyle has on every one of his headers for emails. That was his last known address, and an adult has to sign for. An appellate court upheld that if an adult signs at the last known address, that is a proper service. That was a proper service that has been upheld by the appellate court.
You know what they're going to do after
There is
this?
such a
They're
thing
going
as
to-
substitute service.
Yeah, they're narrowing down, like they are running out of options, all the trolls. So now what it will be like is, oh, but this wasn't fair. This wasn't fair.
Yeah.
That's what they're getting down to.
Oh yeah,
This wasn't done fairly, and that's what they're going to.
Exactly
Life
what they're
isn't
doing.
fair. Life is not fair, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hello.
Hello.
I am so sorry that I'm
Kittle.
so sorry that I'm late. I was defending my cringerweight championship on DP
So
tonight.
real quick before we get to Ed, real quick. So if you read the electronic filing, the electronic court filing, I think it's number 8. My lawyer is very clear. He puts in there last known address. So my lawyer knows what the hell he's doing. He's process served before. He knew that it was last known address. That was perfectly fine, and his mother signed for it. That's a legal process. Okay. So
Can I actually?
these jailhouse lawyers? By the way, these jailhouse lawyers.
First,
They
Steve,
never.
Can I
They
do a
never.
rant about this in a sec?
What?
When you're done. Can I do a rant about this when you're done in a sec?
Sure. Go.
Okay.
I was going to say on this.
I was going to wait till you're done. Sorry, I don't know who I interrupted. First of all, I don't know who I interrupted a minute ago. There, I apologise. But okay, let's take some facts into the equation here. First of all, some people know the guy who's backing Steve. The guy who's backing Steve financially is worth quite a bit. Okay. Now, do you think he hired a bunch of fucking cowboys as a law firm? Okay. First of all,
No, he didn't.
do you think that he's trying to help Steve out? So he fucking helped. Do you think he hired fucking Saul Goodman or Lionel Hutz or something? No. I'm sure he looked for a reputable law firm. And I mean this goddamn narrative that God, I'm trying to frame my words here because this is just fucking annoys me that this shit's coming out. And
it wrecks your brain. It really does.
It does. It hurts your brain.
I
The
don't
dumb,
want
it
to
hurts.
I do not want to mention his name, but let's say Lawful Evil guy who I've only ever had one conversation with and blocked him because I come to the position that he's a piece of shit.
Agree.
A guy who really should know fucking better.
Agree.
They're trying to tell me that seriously that this was not served properly. That
bullshit.
This guy this man who's worth a lot of money, who's backing Steve here, who Kyle was not counting on, hired a bunch of fucking cowboys who didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Well, Jeff, look at it this way. OPT lawyer. OPT lawyer who does. OPT lawyer who does appellate law for 20 years. He says it's perfectly fine in North Carolina law. I have two lawyers that took care of this. Also, which you don't seem to realize, did anybody actually read what he wrote? What he wrote was ridiculous. It was copied and pasted from needdoc.com. He cited one thing on rule 60 is that if you have to have certain reasons. The reasons would be like, for example, I was not processed because I was in the hospital in a coma. Negligence on your own part is not breaking. It does not constitute improper service. He was negligent. He didn't file any forwarding address. Therefore, the court has said before under Rule 4, if you don't have forwarding address and the last known location, that's fine.
Can I jump in here?
Can I just finish off?
And also, real quick, he didn't file. Actually, whenever you do a motion, you actually have to file what's called a certificate of service. So any lawyer or anybody else who files anything with the court for any kind of motion has a certificate of service. He didn't file a certificate of service.
Can I finish off?
Yeah.
Sorry, because I know Chesh wanted to get in. Look, I'm just getting a little bit frustrated with a lot of the internet lawyers that are coming out here on this stuff. Okay. Now, I made a comment to Steve on Facebook earlier today, which he may have seen, but look, the rest of you guys haven't. Right. Now, I have been a trade union steward for a long time, or that's labour union rep for people in the US or whatever. So in the UK I know a tiny little bit about employment law in the UK. However, that does not make me qualified to actually go to court and represent someone on that case. I know a little bit about the subject. I don't know a lot. And I learned some things just when people read like employment law websites or whatever that give all this stuff online, that it was so open to interpretation that I could go on there, look and read some stuff, but when I ask someone who's a real expert in this stuff, says, no, that's not what this means. It's just a lot of people go online and read something on the internet or whatever about law and think they're fucking expert.
Well, that's why they call it jailhouse
really
lawyering. When you go
Yeah.
online and look, first of all, when you're pro se, you're already kind of fucked. That's the reason why Abraham Lincoln said, if you have yourself as a client, you have yourself a fool for a client. If you represent yourself, you're a fool for a client. So the reason being is because, one, you're not objective, and two, if these things work that you find on the internet, then everybody would be using them. They don't work because they're jailhouse lawyering for stall tactics. That's what they are.
I mean, Steve, let's put it in some terms, because you're ex-military or whatever. Let's put it in a term you'd probably be very familiar with. A lot of these people are coming out are like barrack room lawyers, which is, I'm sure, is a term you've heard. Which I'm sure is a term you've heard in the Navy or whatever.
I get it.
I don't know what I said, so I don't know what that term is.
Barrack.
Barracks
barrack
lawyer.
Room
barracks
room
lawyer.
lawyers.
Oh,
you
barrack.
never heard that term?
Yeah.
I don't.
Barracks. You're a little drunk.
Sorry, Steve, I thought that was like a universal term. That's a very well known.
You said barracks
term
lawyer, right? Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's a very well known term in British military. Sorry, give a bit of background. I'm not. I'll say so, Steve. I'm not like an ex-forces guy person myself, but both my mum and my father were British Royal Navy, and my grandfather was Royal Navy. So I know some of these terms, but God damn.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you. Okay, so what he's talking about.
Let me get back. Let me get to where I was saying. Look, there's a lot of these goddamn internet lawyers coming out here. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That's a barracks
lawyer. You really
lawyer.
don't.
That's a barracks lawyer doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're basically
Yeah,
just trying
they
to look
do
for.
not.
We're gonna have to. Hang on, Jeff.
15
Yeah.
combat.
Yeah, go on,
in the military, you have what's called the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Okay, and the Uniform Code of Military Justice is very complicated. You're no lay person is going to be able to understand the Uniform Code of Military Justice. This is why you have actual lawyers defend you if you get into a general article. Just when they let's say you did something wrong. It's called non-judicial punishment. Okay, which is basically captain's mast. Sometimes I'll have an XOI hearing before Captain's Mass to see if it's chargeable. If you go to Captain's Mass, then the captain decides what's done to you. So you're not being prosecuted as a legal case, right? It's at the captain's discretion of the commanding officer. But if you actually get found guilty or found that you're prosecuted under the Uniform Code of Military Justice for a criminal act that requires a court case, then you actually have JAG. You actually have a lawyer that would actually defend you. Why? Because they know what the hell they're doing, not some barracks lawyer that's telling you, oh, here's a loophole I can get out of this. Because barracks lawyers and people like that are always constantly looking for loopholes to say, oh, look, here's a technicality. It's not valid. Those people are idiots. That never works because that's not how law works. That's why people go to law school.
Well, great, Steve, because you kind of cut for a lot of what I was going to get to there. You've really cut to the kind of chase there.
I'm sober.
You've got certain people that are trying to look, the Kyle supporters, who are the few remaining Kyle supporters who are trying to look for, like, oh, there's a technicality here, like, blah, blah, blah. They're looking for a technicality where a technicality really doesn't exist.
They're literally looking for what is called a get out of jail free card.
And,
yeah.
Okay. I mean, they're looking at the monopoly thing. Yeah.
The case
but
next.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Some of those people who are advising Carl, this has been brought up. I know Reds has made a good point to this. That people, they do not have Kyle's best interest at heart.
No, they're fucking.
They're just
Kyle
like,
hard.
what can we do to fuck with Steve
and Kyle?
Yes,
that's their attitude.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they think Kyle putting this in is some kind of victory for them. You ever heard of the term Pyrrhic victory? Look that up. That's all that's gonna fucking be for these people.
It's not a Pyrrhic victory. No, it's not a Pyrrhic victory.
It's not even a Pyrrhic victory. Yeah,
But here's the thing. So the Gibby versus Lindsay, that was a $3 million judgment. $3 million judgment. The appellate court said no, you were properly served. It went to the parent. Wow. It went to the person's last known address, and their mom signed for it. The appellate court in North Carolina said that is a proper service. There you go. I mean, it was the same exact thing. Last known address, mom signed for. What happened here? Last known address, mom signed for. And that was a $3 million judgment. The appellate court said, no, you're on the hook for it. So I don't know whether these jailhouse lawyers and these barrack lawyers think that, they're going to do anything besides get probably Kyle a contempt charge. So.
By the way, Steve, my previous rant there is actually copyrighted by Carl Curtis Design, so you owe someone $200.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve, I'm drunk right now, so the meter's running.
Yeah, there is such a thing as substituted service.
There is, but with substituted service, you do have to make multiple attempts to try to get the actual person served first. But who's got all the background noises? I'm not watching right now.
Don't know.
Yeah.
The thing I love about
can't
it
blame
is,
me that time I was muted.
the thing I love about it is people saying like last known address. Well, you have to make an effort to find his current address.
No, you do not.
Well,
Under what law?
no. The thing is, your current address can be your last known address because that's the last place people remember being you at. And if you just up and decide, oh nope, I'm fucking moving as of like 2 hours ago.
Yeah. By the way, and I didn't know he moved in with his boyfriend. I didn't know he moved into his boyfriend until after he was served. That's why I said it was his last address. Because he said he moved in with his boyfriend, which I don't know if that was actually true or not. I think he was just flying to see him and trying to get out of being, things. But I don't know if he actually moved in or not. But that's what I remember him saying. But that was well after he got served.
Can I jump
look
in
at the date he
right
got served on the document.
There's something else. Yeah, there's something
Chesh
else
has been waiting diligently.
Chesh, go ahead.
Yeah.
I just wanted to jump in on what Vegan was saying. That you if you notice. During your conversation, people were flipping the burden of proof on you. They made a claim. You said that's not how that works. And they said, well, no, you have to prove that. Well, you didn't prove your initial claim. We have audio of Kyle saying he was served. So we don't have to prove anything. But if you're going to make the claim that it was served inappropriate, you have to demonstrate how that is the case. And they're not doing that.
Yeah, and he didn't demonstrate in his motion how it was served inappropriate. He cut and paste literally off a template. He didn't demonstrate that he was served inappropriately. He didn't give any reason on any of that, and he filed against motions that didn't even exist. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and when we were listening to the audio, listening to those clips, and because we listened to the whole 2 damn hours of that Discord hangout, there are a lot of people in there that are trying to shift around the burden of proof, and that's not how court works. This isn't philosophy 101, dipshits. It's the way the law works, and it does not function the same way.
Yeah, my response back to them was, well, we shall see what the courts say now, won't we?
Well, we'll have a motion in by Monday. We're going to have a motion to show cause because Cal failed to fulfill the order of the court, right? So that's probably going to be a sanctionable event. Yeah. He deleted the Twitter, which is a sanctionable event. And so here's the thing. Worst case, and by the way, this would never happen, but I'm just saying, if he was to have everything set back to square one, we would just ask for immediate summary judgment under sanctionable, what's called spoilers of evidence. Because this is all just nonsense. But he already spoiled evidence. So I mean, he's all he's doing right now is trying to prolong it as much as possible because he's listening to people. He's wasting the court's time. That's all he's doing.
Can I say something? Sorry, in a minute. In a minute, I'll say something, but.
My question, my thing is that hasn't court already given their judgment? Why is everybody thinking? Sorry, I'm slurring now. Dang it! Why is everybody thinking?
You're drunk, Manya. More than I am.
Atta girl, welcome.
The argument
That's a good thing.
And again, it's a few people trying to make is that. Even if Kyle got the papers in his hand and he admitted that he got those papers and he was acknowledging those papers, that the fact that he got them either through a third party or whatever, somehow that invalidates him being served.
Yeah, well, he screwed up because he's not arguing that he was served improperly. He argued he never was served at all.
Exactly. They're completely ignoring that, and they're trying to say that a judge won't care.
Oh, he'll care.
That he actually... it's ridiculous. I know.
It's called gamesmanship.
And I've been saying, I'm actually embarrassed for these people, and they don't understand.
Sweet.
Can I complete my thought before I just
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Manya.
Go ahead, Manya.
Hey.
Yes, dear. Go ahead, Manya. All yours.
Okay, my point is, the judgment has been made. It's too late now to go back and say, "Oh, I wasn't served properly."
Well, no, it's not. You have a year. You can do up to a year.
And
But cause.
so
But he doesn't have cause.
Well,
yeah, he doesn't have a valid cause for it, and as Steve said, he's just copying pasting stuff. You have to demonstrate in your submission to court why you think you weren't
What he
served
submitted,
properly, or why you weren't served at all.
Yeah, what he submitted.
He's not demonstrating that.
Yes, Manya, what he submitted to support his belief was out-of-state case law.
Oh my
That's
God.
how inept he was. You do not
and
cite
even-
out-of-state case law.
And even if he has a point, doesn't that just mean the process starts over?
On the being
Not
inept
necessarily,
thing,
no.
I have
No,
a question.
But my question is, hold
You
on.
first, Manya.
Thank you. So kind of you. My question is there how many laws did he cite from North Carolina, and which ones which ones judge might consider?
Judge
I'm pretty sure it was 0, 0, and
Judge ain't
0.
going to consider any of that. We have a motion on Monday to have it squashed right off the bat. Judge,
Beautiful.
It's just ridiculous.
That didn't answer my question though.
How many case law did he cite from North Carolina? I think one or two.
One or two, and which ones? So obviously, because you have a very good lawyer, your lawyer must have given an opinion on those two, one or two, right?
Oh, my opinion.
Curious.
My lawyer said straight up, bottom line, he was asked his address. His mom signed for it. Bottom line, he was served. That was straight from my lawyer. Bottom line, he was served. He said what Kyle's doing is called gamesmanship, and that we want all the evidence and go to the judge to show gamesmanship for further sanctions.
So hear that, trolls? That's a very experienced lawyer saying that. All right, so shut up.
They don't care.
They don't care. They don't care.
They've been told.
Yeah.
They know.
I mean,
Sorry, can I make it? Can I make a couple of points?
Yeah. Well, can we get some other else in here real quick? I mean, I know Chester's been trying to talk for a few too.
Yeah, sorry.
So,
no, it's all good.
when he sent the passwords across a public forum,
Those were not the passwords. Those are not even the right emails to those accounts. That was
Okay,
that was fraud. That was contempt too.
oh, great! That's a good idea.
That live at non-sex show, I know for a fact that was not, because I have the actual email to the Patreon. I just don't have the password. Well, actually, I do have the pass. Okay, I have the Patreon password and email, but it's two-thing verification, and so that I know that wasn't the last thing, and I actually have that screen capped. So
now the actual question has two parts. The original one was going to be, have we heard back on if he's going to get in any kind of trouble for publicly showing the passwords that were technically private at that point? But now it's down to fraud, so it's a completely second question.
Well, he's already liable for fraud. I mean, he is found liable for fraud.
Well, no, I think
I just made another count.
Lying to the court.
I got you.
Is well. Yeah. Which is that'll be up to the judge. The judge will have to look at it all and then make that decision. We really can't guess because one, we don't know enough about the judge, and two, I mean, the judge might not. It's a matter of priority essentially at that point. So which thing is going to be? Are they going to bother looking at, and which ones are they going to be like, you know what, this is minor enough that it wasn't even the right passwords, and you lied about all this stuff anyway, so we're going to ignore that you lied about the smaller stuff, and we're just going to focus on this other.
I think my lawyer's going to put it all in there, but I know he hasn't shown me the brief yet. He's writing it today and tomorrow. He's working this weekend on it. That's because he's like, he wants to have it in by Monday because he's like, yeah, we're going to just go full on this.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we're going to basically have to wait and see.
Well, either way, from a court point of view, you've got all of these different allegations against Kyle on one side, and then against Steve on the other side, you have a fucked up on delivering it. Like that's literally it.
Yeah, that's...
You know what's funny is, here's the thing. I have been the only one that has shown any evidence for anything. Every claim that Kyle has made, he has not shown anything for. He accused me of tax exemption, tax fraud, VA fraud, medical fraud, holding money, all this. He has never showed anything to substantiate any claim that he has ever made. I've been transparent from day one because I wanted the audience to know what was going on, and I have submitted evidence to the court and to in public of the emails that back everything I've ever said that was correct.
Well,
At no time did I say any. At no time At no time did I do anything unethical, illegal, or anything like that. Kyle tried to run that narrative. It is a fact that Kyle lied about having a lawyer. It is a fact that Kyle lied about having a CPA. It is a fact that Kyle lied about fraud, committing fraud. That is all in evidence now. He was the one that found liable for fraud, not me. And that Bullinator and myself at Reds, I have messages back from May of me and Bullinator discussing why we don't have the financials. I just made them public the other day again. I thought that they were new, but I think they may have put out before, but I didn't remember. But I remember that I told people before that I had a conversation with Bull that I was asking him back in May 9th, where are the financials? Kyle's not being forthcoming with the financials. And
I remember seeing that on Twitter.
Yeah.
I remember you kept saying like where the hell's the financials? Where's the books? And Kyle never did anything with it.
Right. I mean, so everything as Kyle said has been lying from day one. Yet these haters want to believe what he says, but when you go to Kyle and say where's the evidence, there is none. That's why when people said, "Hey, Kyle, you have money in your account? Where is it? Oh, it's there. Oh, you have a lawyer? Yeah, but I don't want to give that information out." This is people that actually used to call themselves critical thinkers. I don't know, or skeptics. I don't know what the hell they call themselves now, besides idiots. But I mean,
sheep.
But it's just
Well, I mean, at
absolutely
this point-
ridiculous because Kyle had never had a shred of evidence. Not a shred.
Well, at this point, the thing is here isn't necessarily that you're going to be skeptical or not. The thing is here is the double standard is the bigger problem. If you're
Exactly.
just going to take Kyle at face value, then why are you not willing to take Steve at face value?
And I'm not. Mine's not even face value.
It's a
I
matter
have the
of-
actual evidence.
Well,
It's
right,
a-
I know
it's a
you
bias
can.
at that
It's a
point.
matter. It's a matter of consistency, right? So if you're going to, you can't sit around and say, well, you're not doing this, that, or the other thing, and you need to provide this, and you need to provide that, and then go and well, this person just told me. Well, you know, you can't. It doesn't work like that. You
The same
need
people are going to turn around, and when it comes to their side of it, when somebody pushes the goalpost against them, they're going to call them on that. But that's exactly what's happening here as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, and to be honest, we're already seeing it. I've been, paying attention a little bit on Twitter and looking at different things. And I see a lot of these people that are taking Kyle's side or that have taken Kyle's side. They're saying a lot of hypocritical things about the situation based on other situations. They're handling a lot of other things that aren't Steve related in a very different manner. Shocking, I know.
I'll give you an example of that, sweet. I'll give you an example. This happened the other day. Somebody was like, well, has Kyle been convicted of perjury? If no, you can't say he committed perjury. I'm like, this is the same motherfucker that was saying that I committed fraud. I was like, wait a minute. You're saying I committed fraud. I don't remember a judge saying that. I don't remember any lawyer saying that. I have two competent lawyers that laughed about this, and they wanted actually me to sue him for defamation per se when I showed them all the evidence.
They lack so much.
My lawyers have a duty to say, Steve,
there's no self-awareness.
hang on, my lawyers have a duty to say, Steve, if you broke the law, this is what we need to do. Right? This is how we handle this. That what they said was just the opposite. They were like, this is defamation. Okay?
You should sue him.
Yeah, well, my lawyer, Glenn and I have discussed it, but it would have taken a lot longer to get the motion going because we would have had a longer discovery phase and other things. And Glenn and I told the lawyer, you know what? We don't want to work with the defamation right now. Let's do the fraud and the stuff that he's committed that we can actually
just
get together right now. So we wanted to go to trial really quickly. So that's why we put aside the defamation claim.
one step at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
nothing
all,
to be revisited.
it's all according to plan.
And before the live
But do you see the hypocrisy there?
Yes.
It's just
so
Steve
much.
committed fraud. Okay, where's the evidence for this? Because I don't recall anybody being saying that I was convicted of fraud. I don't remember any testimony. I don't remember any evidence from Kyle's side. Well, you said it, Steve. No, that's not what I said. What I said, you have taken out of context. You have manipulated for your own means, and they damn well know it. People have seen it.
Hello.
And that's not evidence of anything.
Well, that's what I was saying about the shifting the burden of proof, right? So it's a matter of like, oh, so it's perfectly okay for you to say that this person has done that, like Steve has committed fraud or Chesh has sex with her dog. This is totally something that you're allowed to say without any evidence whatsoever. However, if somebody gives you pushback and says, well, actually, no, he didn't because this is what was said, they say, well, where's your burden of proof? It's like, well, that's not how burden of proof works.
Well, it's also sea lining, which we'll be going over on Monday, I think. It's, the sea
Also,
lions,
I have a question.
We'll be going
What the fuck are you wearing, Chesh?
Oh my God!
What is that on your
kind
head?
of
What is
question?
that on your head?
What kind of question is that to ask a woman?
I'm sorry, but I'm just like wondering what
are you wearing?
What is that?
It's
what type
a
of hat?
hat.
It's a butter hat. Steve.
I asked that question to Sweet in text, and I usually get none of your goddamn business.
It's a hat of a character that a character from League of Legends wears. His name is Teemo. So it's got the little goggles and the little ears on it.
Oh, now I see it. Okay.
Yeah, you know, when you ask vegan that question, what are you wearing? She's like skin.
Is Timo a dog?
Timo is evil.
He's like
I'm
a little
still gonna
squirrel
try to
thing.
steal it.
Don't make me kill you. Sorry, can I bring things back and just make a point that's been kind of bugging me lately?
Do it.
So there's been a narrative going around
gotta pin her.
that the people in our group are engaging in cancel culture. That we are saying that you cannot talk to these people and you cannot engage with these people, or we're just going to
Really?
completely fuck you out of our lives.
Yeah, when did this happen?
Irony.
What is really interesting about that is that they are from the same camp that pushed me away because I was Steve's friend. Before I even knew that there was
They're
drama.
the same camp. Wait. It's better than that.
But that was okay.
But sweet, it's better than that. That's the same camp that is trying to mass flag my channels and trying to get YouTube creators to mass flag my channel.
Yeah,
It's
this
like-
is the
yeah,
same,
same
group who's
people.
like, oh no,
Right.
we hate Steve. Therefore, because Chesh is hanging out with Steve, we hate Chesh. And because
Yep.
Sweet's hanging out with Steve,
Exactly. Yeah.
Some people
Yeah. And that's totally fine.
This is the same group this is the same group of people that thought I was dragging Cheshire for posting that clip of Cheshire saying, "Look at all the evidence. It's fucking nothing.
It's fucking nothing."
yeah, what did they try to do with
hang on,
you,
hang on.
Egghead?
So
They thought that Egghead was dragging me, and what did they try to do? Immediately try to be like, oh yeah, did you see all this other horrible shit that they did? When none of it was actually true.
Yeah.
So
And all
Nick-
these
hang
trolls.
on, hang on. So in time, which as a channel with Nick Suter and Asgard Odinson, and they were accused of me. Supposedly, I'm able to tell them who they can and cannot talk to, who they cannot have on. That conversation has never happened. In fact, they have both said, Steve doesn't tell us who the fuck we can talk to, who we can and cannot have on. We make those decisions.
No, he doesn't.
They've actually said this, and yet people are still think for some reason I tell them, like I have some kind of power over their goddamn show.
No,
who they have on.
If Steve tells me
Well, I'm
that,
gonna-
just come to me. I'll
Can I
stab
say
Steve
something
for
in
you.
a
Just go talk to Manya. I can only I talk to
Yeah.
Can I-
Steve, there's someone in the chat asking about this spanner. Can you have a look at that? It's a macabre male.
All spanners have been taken away. Hi, Macabre. We love you.
No one's special.
Nothing personal.
All spanners but Vic, Cheshire, and you.
I already
Dave.
typed it in the chat.
Yeah, mine is also gone.
Look, mine.
I even took
I don't
Everyone's
care.
is gone.
I took
Mine's
Manya's
gone.
spine. I took her wrench. I took her tool away. I took my tool out of her hand.
Hashtag
There it is
Steve.
again.
People are like,
You
that would never
wish.
happen.
Here comes.
You wish.
I would want. Why would I want to take my tool out of your hand?
No, you don't.
Because then it was in it in the first place.
You have no idea, do you?
I know I don't. I admit this.
Manya, drink some water.
Drunk Manya is best Manya.
Manya, drink some water.
Do you guys
Manya,
realize that 2
drink
months
some
ago she has
water.
never?
Manya, go eat something.
Do you guys realize that 2 months ago she has never tried alcohol until 2 months ago?
I just had a
yeah.
peanut
We
butter
have
sandwich.
corrupted Manya.
That is
Oh,
one
wow.
fresh
Never
liver.
tried, never
Sandwich is
touched
good.
alcohol until 2 months ago or so.
What was she drinking that got her wasted?
Vodka.
Oh,
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
First time
Yeah,
she
that'll
tried
do
it was vodka. Yes.
Yeah.
And people could say that we're horrible for corrupting her, but at least she's drinking at home in a safe place
Possibly, yeah.
with people that love her.
On the
Yeah.
Including Annette.
Absolutely.
Manya, Manya, you are loved.
let's
We
just
love
hope that I just
know.
hope that her keys are far away from her.
Oh, oh no, we have
Where's-
certain rules. If she drinks, she's not leaving that room.
Yes.
Nah. I'm crashing after this.
There you go.
And if she goes to the
They don't
bar,
wanna go.
if she goes to the bar, she has to go with at least 2 friends.
Now,
the
did you
correct
do
term
Yeah.
is passing out.
Did you do vodka in shots or did you just drink from the bottle?
So I'm surprised we don't have a bunch of fundamentalists crashing our hangouts, going, you're going to hell, Manya. These people are trying to destroy
Made
your
a
soul.
drink.
Nobody said that.
Oh,
Vodka and what? Orange juice?
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Got a chaser.
Food
Hey
level.
guys, can I
Damn.
jump? Can
Girl
I
ain't
jump
playing.
and say something like that?
Oh, nice. Absolute.
She ain't dicking around, is she?
No.
Yeah,
Thank
dude.
you. Help us say something.
Hardcore.
How do you
Somebody
feel?
had a brain fart.
How do you
I think Breeze wants to say something.
Manya, how do you
It
feel?
wasn't me.
Manya, how do you feel?
I feel like I don't want to
woman.
talk, but my
Yeah, she's
feel
drunk.
like you
When
gotta
you feel like you don't want to talk,
barf,
but you
you'll
can't
feel
stop
better in the
talking, that's how you.
morning.
That's a sign you're drunk when you know you shouldn't be talking and don't feel like talking, but that's all you can do is talk.
Well, to be fair,
what
we're
I'm
kind
saying,
of making
drink
her
water.
talk by engaging.
That's true.
I am drunk and I ate a peanut butter sandwich. I blame Steve.
Of course.
There's the 30-second clip
That's
right
the
there.
next.
There you
That's
go.
the
That's
next
going on the
video.
soundboard
Steve,
somewhere.
you
Somebody
corrupt,
needs to
how
cut
dare you
that.
corrupt
That will be the
innocent mind.
tagline for the new non sequitur show. I am
Timestamp.
drunk and I ate a peanut butter sandwich. I blame Steve.
Timestamp that.
And blame
That's the best
merchandise on
through line
it.
of thought I've ever heard
Exactly.
from Manya ever.
Literally everything is Steve's fault.
Yes.
Steve
In
is the devil.
perpetuity.
I created the
Yeah.
coronavirus.
Well,
Steve, I drink 4 days a week.
You
It's
you
your
are
fucking
the
fault.
coronavirus.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Can I,
In a room, you two.
can I share a story about my own sort of
Sure,
journey
if
in
we
this
cut
whole
back the background noise from Brandon,
non-sequitur?
sure.
There we go.
Bitch.
But can I share just very quickly like my own personal journey on this
Quickly,
whole
Hank.
non sequitur show, like the split and so on? I think I've told Steve this before, that initially because I didn't necessarily see things in necessarily order of events or whatever. Initially, I was a little more sympathetic towards Kyle when the whole thing happened.
He was.
However,
Oh, and you weren't blocked either.
I was too,
yeah.
actually.
Oh wow, and yeah. However, here's the thing: over the next week or so, I listened to both sides or whatever. Got to listen what happened, and I came to and based upon the evidence, it was obvious to me that Steve was telling the truth, and Carl was fucking lying through his teeth. And as a result of that, now I'd have called Steve an internet acquaintance at that point. Over the last sort of few months, I mean, I don't know if you feel that way, Steve, but I kind of feel like I've become friends with you as off the back of that. But initially, I was a little more sympathetic towards Kyle, but at some point, the evidence just become overwhelming. Like, no, I can't fucking support this guy any longer. This guy is lying for his fucking teeth.
Well, I mean,
I was on the same. I was on the same boat, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Godfather
There
sent me a
was
bottle of
actually-
alcohol, and we were besties.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
actually has something to do with the my little analogy proposal that I've been working on that has to do with when you're not neutral anymore. It's essentially is if you look at the weights of justice, you essentially have one side and the other side, and as one side starts to present more and more evidence, and I mean fact, it's not just interpretation and actual fact. It starts to tip the scales, and if you're truly neutral, then you view it one way because it is tipped in that way and you view it that way. However, what you have is a lot of people playing neutral who falsify and start pushing on the other side to bring it back into balance again, because those scales being balanced is not neutral.
Oh, I'm still
Amen.
neutral. It's just going to take a hell of a lot
Yeah.
more evidence shown by Kyle
Exactly.
to switch my position.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
a jury eventually has to make their decision. They can't just stay undecided forever.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Look, the judge.
Well,
the judge read the affidavit. That's all been submitted. People can believe whatever the hell they want. I think they believe Kyle. They believe me. I don't care. What I do care is when people make false statements. People have made critically false statements about me with no
That's
evidence.
what I was going to say, actually, Steve, in a sec, but yeah.
That is not being neutral.
That's what I mean by when you're falsely tipping the scales. Now, saying that Steve didn't or knowingly even incorrectly served Kyle
Which
is
is a false
falsely
statement.
tipping the scale
I didn't
to
give
make
him an
them
address.
seem neutral when it's not.
At the very least, you're being
They got off an
insensitive
email.
at that point because you're attempting. You're like you said, you're pushing the balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they actually asked me. They may have asked me, "Is this the last known address?" I don't remember, to be honest with you. But they got it off, I believe, an email, and they got off the business thing, and they got it off. I don't know how. You know what? I don't remember how they actually got that actual address. Maybe the lawyer asked me after the fact, but I do remember reading very clearly in the certificate, ECF number 8, that it was last known address, and that somebody had mentioned his mom. Somebody had mentioned it was his mom, but I don't remember who it was. I can't remember everything. But I don't.
Okay,
but people like.
Oh, you said something different in the beginning, and now you're saying something different
what's
now.
funny,
They're
God?
gonna fucking cut that out,
You know
bud.
what's funny is when they say. Well, here's the thing: when they say Steve served him, I didn't serve anybody. It wasn't my service.
Oh yeah, that
he
was
was served
that
on
was
by
another
the court
fun thing about
by
it.
the lawyer had him served.
Well,
I'm an actual
even the
lawyer.
lawyer didn't serve them. The lawyer contracts out to a process.
It was
Well,
UPS.
I don't know if
yeah,
contracts
it
is
was
the right word,
USPS,
but
United States Postal Service, certified mail.
oh, okay. So it was through certified mail then. It wasn't through an actual process server.
Yes, it was certified mail.
Okay, I mean, and even that's acceptable.
Yes.
It's just, Jesus Christ.
And keep in mind that, again, there's more than one way that Kyle was given this information. These streams that we did counted because there's a reasonable expectation that Kyle would have seen them.
Oh, and another fun part to bring up about that was when he did his interview with Unirock, he talked about how he knew about the lawsuit and he ignored it because he was in a bad place.
I sent that lawyer specifically asked me. He wanted to get as much that he could give to the judge to show gamesmanship, and I sent him like 5 videos and a bunch of transcripts, and he loved it. And he also
many timestamps.
And he also liked the fact that well, it was me, Mike, Chester, and Rez. We actually took the time to do this. So thank you guys for that. And he also liked the fact that he couldn't believe that he actually used something offline, like a template out of Nevada. And also the case law, if you look in part 3, I'm looking at it right now, under hearing is required, he quotes Washington Appellate Court and Missouri Appellate Court. Okay, this you do not cite out-of-case state law for the state. I mean, that makes no sense to state out-of-state case appellate court. So this was completely barracks lawyering and jailhouse lawyering.
Steve, that'd be like me trying to cite British law to you for your
That would have been
case,
even
for
funnier.
Sake.
Cite the Magna Carta.
He's citing the Constitution, due process like a sovereign citizen.
Exactly.
Well, it's almost like he's implying
From
that he
Ohio
hasn't
appellate
gotten-
court.
And actually, can I just say something on this? Like, obviously, I mentioned, I'm British or whatever. When I was still trying to make my mind up about this whole situation, and there was someone who put something out, we won't mention her fucking name, but the person who put out the whole Steve's trying to just fraud the US Veterans Administration or whatever. Now, I'm British, I do not know nothing about the USVA. It took me like 15 to 20 minutes to look into that person's claims and realise that was fucking bullshit. And that's how long it took me. Just Google the VA and look at who's entitled to what or whatever. And it's like, that claim is bullshit.
Did you notice that Kyle didn't even bring it up in his letter because it would have been even more perjury because he has not a single shred of evidence to support that. No, there's been nothing. I've never had a conversation with Kyle that of anything was against anything legally or unethically. I was the one making sure that this was done legally and ethically. I was the one making sure Kyle was filing this correctly. I was the one that making sure the taxes were done right. That wasn't Kyle. Kyle, we thought was doing something shifty.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. That was the very first claim for not paying you as well, wasn't it?
Yes, he lied about that because he actually said, "Oh, the money's being held, and the CPA can't release it because of legal reasons, and that everything that Steve does is just prolonging the case because my lawyer has to go through all this stuff, and there's stuff about tax, blah blah blah. All that we know to be an absolute lie. He never had a lawyer. He never had a CPA. So nobody was reviewing this stuff.
Well, that was one of my favorite.
And he
lie.
And he says there was no money in the accounts, and he didn't give the bank records. So he has lied from day one.
You can actually thank Unirock for that one because he admitted all of that in that interview.
I had it before that, actually.
Who?
Oh, no, yeah, you had it.
I don't know if you're talking about.
Yeah,
Are you talking about?
You're talking about Vapey Vader?
Sorry.
Who's this
Vapey Vader, yeah.
guy?
That guy that I'm still subscribed to because of neutrality.
Yeah, because he had
Hey, you want to be neutral, you want to watch him behave.
He had people trying to believe that a CPA was wasting his time by watching videos to try to investigate some fraudulent stuff that I may have done. And people were actually believing that nonsense. That's the idiocy that they'll degrade into just because they're hate boners for me.
Well, that's one of the things that I actually enjoy about a lot of this is that essentially every single one of the claims that gets made can be debunked in a matter of seconds. It's not even like if you know about it, and if you don't know about it, a matter of minutes to actually just look it up.
Yeah, but they'll keep asking about it because they want to sea lion you. and you want to think people are honest agents, but they're not.
Well, yeah, exactly.
They don't care. That's the thing. Can we acknowledge that it doesn't matter? This has been explained ad nauseum a million times. They're not, they know better. They understand what's going on. They are being dishonest on purpose, and they're hoping that other people
lawful evil,
latch
neutral evil,
on.
chaotic evil.
I think,
And I understand that that's why we're doing it. I understand that's why we keep explaining it, is for the audience's benefit. But I think at this point, even the audience understands these are a small bubble of people that are desperately trying to defend Kyle for their own reasons that have nothing to do with Kyle's interests, first of all.
Oh, absolutely not.
And it's all about their own agenda.
Also, I
Sweet,
think that
that's
they're
a
not.
brilliant point.
Yep.
I think that's a
She's
brilliant
spot on.
point, Steve. Sweet, because whoever these people are who are giving Kyle advice, they don't give a fuck about Kyle.
No.
They don't give a fuck.
Somebody
They don't give a fuck if he bros. They don't give a fuck if he.
Somebody had asked if this was the plan from the beginning.
It's just like,
I think so.
If this fucks with Steve for like one more day, it's worth it to them.
Exactly.
Look, I have
and
Jeff,
anyone
hang
like
on.
Kyle,
Jeff,
whoever
you're drunk.
else,
Hang on.
it's indispensable.
Hang on, relax.
Sorry, I'm ranting. But
I have evidence that I've already submitted to the lawyer, whether he includes it in the brief or not, or the motion, that I think that Kyle had probably been planning something like this for a very long time to kind of just wait out, see what happens, and then try to say that it was improper service on bad advice given by people that don't give a fuck about him, that just don't give a shit, and they're playing games, but they don't care if Kyle gets burned from it out. No reputable lawyer would have let Kyle submit that to the court. There were so many mistakes on it.
On the reputable lawyer thing, it's like these trolls don't get it. Steve's got a good lawyer, and he's paying shit ton of money to him. No lawyer who's getting well paid is going to give you wrong or bad advice. No lawyer, because their reputation is also at stake out there in the market.
Let me show you this
That's
document
what's
real
come
quick.
up a lot. I've seen on Twitter lately is a lot of people are questioning the credentials of certain internet lawyers that we'll call lawful evil, because they cannot confirm that he is actually a lawyer in the state that he says that he is. And it may be because he's using a fake name online. We don't know. I honestly don't care at this point, but I think it's really interesting that nobody can actually confirm that this person is actually a practicing lawyer.
All I give a shit is about this. Any reputable lawyer that would have read this would have pointed out these issues. OPT lawyer read it, and he said this was a cut and paste. He didn't know it was from where. He was right. This right here is all cut and paste from a Nevada court case, or a Nevada template from Clark County. Okay, he actually puts in here, defendant further request a writ of execution or writ of garnishment be entered be quashed. This was from a writ of execution. This is what he picked up his faces from. We don't have a writ of execution. That's when you say we want to go in and seize assets. We didn't have a writ of garnishment. North Carolina is not a garnishment state. This was exactly a huge cut and paste. He also goes further on his beliefs and support of motion. This right here. He puts constitutional due process requires. He cites. This is Ohio appellate court that he cites. He cites Washington appellate court under a hearing was required, and Washington, and then he cites Missouri. This is all under a hearing was required. You do not cite out of case law for a belief support of your motion.
Here's the thing.
Oh,
If you had a
but Steve, you're just being Grinchy
lawyers
Poo.
would have put their name on it, and their lawyer whoever is helping him will not put their name on it because they can't.
No way. Would the lawyer. And real quick,
they won't be able to walk again if they do.
And real quick, there was no certificate of service on this document. If you look at any of the motions, right, any of these motions that my lawyer did, motion for entry into default judgment, it'll have what's called a certificate of service on it, right here, certificate of service. So.
Yeah, okay. I would like to correct myself. I just read OPT lawyer's comment. Sadly, just because a lawyer is well paid doesn't necessarily mean they're a good lawyer.
That's true.
I've seen enough disciplinary cases to know that. Yeah, you're right. But I'll say that in my support that Steve is a good lawyer. Everything has been to the T to this point. and Steve's got his judgment.
Now this is all public document right here, so
So, yeah.
there's no doxing here.
And
This is-
also the fact
this is all
that you're
public
working
right
with
here.
a senior partner right now who agrees with all of this.
Yes.
Who
I
really
So-
should know better.
But I want to make it
That's-
very clear that people can go to this document. It's all public document, so you can't dox something that's public document. Although I'll probably blur it out after the fact. But,
I would also like to point out real quick is we've got a really great hashtag going on in the chat right now. It's called hashtag Quash Me Daddy.
That's everything.
Like I said,
I had
earlier,
nothing
I
to do
love
with
it.
this.
That is fantastic.
Quash me, daddy. Quash me hard.
I heard my name. Did you guys call me?
No. God damn it, Mikey, go home.
So
I am at home, sweet. Where do you want me to go?
To the bedroom, obviously.
I got a text from your girlfriend saying that she's feeling neglected.
Have you met Manya?
You know what?
leave my clue in. I don't
Or
even have an
vegan. Vegan's
imaginary
close to you.
girlfriend, sir.
But it's fine. It's fine, Mikey.
That'd
If you
be a
want to
top-
neglect
that'd be
your
a top-
girlfriend, I'd be more than happy to take over for you.
That's a dilemma. Vegan versus
holy crap.
Manya. I don't know. That'd be what a hard decision that would be. You could have one come over.
I'm sorry.
for-
Have you not read the
hang
shirt?
I was just trying to insert myself back
Mikey
into the
needs sweet.
conversation, and I got thwarted, smited back down to my rightful place in obscurity. I will go back there.
Okay.
We'll miss you, Mikey. Love you.
I'm mad on this than
Mikey.
Mikey, though.
Mikey, I don't even
Feel
have
free
an
to insert
imaginary
yourself again
girlfriend,
whenever you
so-
feel like.
Oh my.
Insult. Insult.
What did I tell you about the word? You're not allowed to use words. Jeff, do you have what was that?
Hey, I was just saying, Mikey, I don't even have an imaginary girlfriend, so you're doing way better than I am.
But Steve, if I could just jump in here with a very obvious statement, I suppose. The entire situation, if you want to call it that, with those who are taking issue with your side of the case, isn't really that urgent. There are many people who are stating their side of it, stating their thoughts without having the facts or while misrepresenting the facts. But nothing of what they're saying is urgent. They say, let the courts decide. Time will tell. You will
Yeah,
let
no, it
the
is
courts
urgent. No,
decide.
that's not true. That is absolutely
Oh.
not true. There is an urgency
Not
to
true?
do that. He has
There
spoilers.
is- okay.
He has spoilers of evidence. Yeah.
I'm not talking about a specific person. I'm talking about a group of
Right,
people
right,
who
right.
are-
But Chris,
It's not what they want.
hang on. The reason why that Kyle is doing this as a stall tactic is he had what's called spoliation of evidence, which is a sanctionable event by deleting the Twitter because there's data on that Twitter that's incriminating. And when you delete something, but from spoliation, the judge can take it as a negative or adverse thing to your case, meaning there's
That's
incrimination.
not what I'm referring to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so there is a time thing why we're trying to.
That is important. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the vitriol, the hate, basically the hate boners, as you call it. Many people are considering this a big urgent thing. Oh, this person is saying this against Steve. That they're just all coming against Steve, and none of that is even important. They don't matter.
Okay.
So now on the same people that are
They don't matter.
complaining
A
this
lot
and
of
that,
it. Yeah. I'd say 95% doesn't matter.
A lot of it is white noise.
doesn't.
Not
Oh, yeah.
anything that anybody related to the case directly says, yeah, that's definitely relevant. It needs to be taken note of. But if a person isn't relevant to the case, then I'm not sure why we even give them the dignity of saying their name.
We don't.
That's
We
what I was
don't.
pointing at too.
Including me right now.
this
I have
point-
nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
The people in question at this point, who's to say they're not just trolls throwing Kyle's body onto the fire?
They are.
Well, still pointing anger at Steve.
They are. They're
But
using
who's to say
Kyle,
they're not also going at Kyle at this point?
They are.
It's
they
funny.
didn't.
Oh my God! Look
not
who's
that it is.
Hang on,
Yeah.
we have a very special guest in the live chat. I want to say hi to. Everybody say hi to her. The wonderful and amazing from the LEA, which is the League of Extraordinary Humans. Christy Santiago.
Hey-ho.
Christy.
Oh my goodness, this is my Twitter.
Her
crush.
amazing, gorgeous.
Isn't she? She's everybody's Twitter crush. Okay.
I
I would trade
Hey,
all you
I
in.
liked her before it was cool.
Yeah, I would trade all you in for one Christy. Okay. All
A little
you.
caveat on this in a sec about this that lawyer situation. Okay? Now, who do you think in this whole case has been the one professional lawyer throughout this whole case? It's Steve's lawyer.
It's me.
Now,
My hat.
okay, right, okay.
Steve's lawyer
Now,
has been the only lawyer that we can confirm.
now let me put this away. Now, Steve's lawyer may possibly think on a personal basis, he may personally think that Steve's the biggest fucking asshole in the world. He might think that. I don't know. But he's been hired to do a job. He's doing it professionally without that kind of bias. He might think Steve's an asshole, for all I know. But he's like...
He's still got a job.
His
Yeah.
job.
Well,
He's doing his job.
my first lawyer was not
Okay.
a big Kyle fan.
So the people, obviously, who are... Let's be honest. I mean, we're not going to say names here. The people who are giving Kyle advice quite clearly have a fucking bias towards Steve, against Steve. That's quite fucking obvious.
All right, real quick.
Like,
a more important thing.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit.
Something to
So,
say, too.
Arato's your muse. I love you. You know I love you. Everybody say hi to Arato as your muse too. She's drunk and feeling unloved, and we want to love her a lot.
Hello.
So listen.
I am Goblin Esquire.
I will give all the love to you, Arato.
Much love.
Yeah, I bet you would too.
I'm lost. I don't even know what we're doing.
Oh, a friend of ours, Arato, is your muse. She's wonderful.
Uh,
And Christy's
Can
wonderful.
we have a stream someday where it's just her talking?
Yes.
Throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
It's so soothing. Her voice is just like, it's butter.
We need her to read us bedtime stories.
She read
Yeah.
Especially salacious bedtime stories.
Oh, we're talking about sexy voices. It's my turn.
God damn it, Mikey, go away.
Mike, you can fuck up a wet dream.
So what you guys really need to know is, no, I'm just kidding. I got nothing.
You sound like you're trying to do like a Shrek voice from an anime.
That's the perfect time to say I'm Batman.
Oh wow.
Oh, hey, Mike, can you quickly say, can you say "uwu" for me in that voice?
Does Christy or Arado, do you guys want in? Why don't you come in for a minute, you guys? You guys haven't joined us in a while. Christy, I'll give you the link via by Facebook, and Arado, I'll give you by Twitter.
I'm gonna start. Oh, hey ho! I've grown 12 subscribers today. I'm very happy.
Yes, dear.
Yay!
I wasn't trying to be combative right then. I was just basically trying to say those who are unrelated to this, including myself, who are being combative and have no place in the case, they're just white noise and
Absolutely.
don't really
No, I agree with you.
deserve our effort, our time, our energy. Your time, your energy should really be spent on the case. What?
I agree with you.
Your time and energy should be spent on the case, in my opinion.
I
But
agree.
That's all I know.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. Arado, I'm not finding you on Twitter for some reason at the moment. I don't know why.
I think Danger Man hit it right on the head. Non sequitur ASMR.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have non sequitur after dark, but I'm thinking about Rum and Coke after dark too. If we can get Christy, in here, we can take it off air.
After really dark.
Okay, we'll have this. We'll have non sequitur show after dark, and non sequitur show really after dark.
Arado has a sick,
right?
Arado has a sick kid with him in bed right now. Oh, sorry.
All right, Arado.
That was a swimming anemone.
We love you, Jasmine.
Anemone.
Anemone.
But Christy has no excuse. Get Christy in here.
Christy, get in here.
Doop.
To clip that is hysterical.
Phenomena.
Phenomena and Numenon. Oh, that's con.
Why do I get invited to these things?
Banana.
No, I don't. I just show up.
Yeah, we're called Rum and Dark Rum and Coke Night.
Dark rum and vanilla Coke night.
Racist.
I heard Coke. Did I miss something?
Yeah, we were talking about Kyle earlier.
I'm done.
And good night.
Why? How did I get in here again? Where am I?
Bring your wifey in. You guys gonna have a drink. Your wifey loves me.
I'm stealing Christy from my wife. It's okay. I'm poly. I can do that.
Yeah. Well,
I
you're gonna have to go
couldn't
through
have
us.
years
But
ago.
Christy has a waiting line.
Oh, Christy's busy.
Yeah,
She's having a drink.
With the wifey. But her wifey
Yeah.
likes me, so.
Drinkies.
Why doesn't her wifey come too?
Yeah, that's what I told Christy.
Drinky pool.
Come both. We love Christy.
Why not both?
Why not both? Why not all? Have it all.
Live like true heathens.
Well,
Oh man, I hope I get my
sorry,
card
what did
working.
you
I
say,
was trying to stream today.
No.
I was trying to stream today and I was fighting with my computer the whole time, and it would work for a little while and then would crash, and then it would work for a little while and it would crash. So is essentially OBS was crashing because it couldn't handle the size. Like, so my canvas size is 6,000 by 6,000 pixels, so it was too big, and so OBS was crashing because the pixel size was too big on the canvas. So I sized the canvas down, it was working fine, and then Windows didn't update and it crashed my graphics card.
Oops.
And I was just like, I give up for today. So I've got the new graphics card ordered, and hopefully that'll show up next week because I'm done. I don't care.
Christy's out for the night. So, Christy, you have a wonderful night with your wife. Tell her that thank you for watching as well, and we love you guys both very much. Morton for 89 DKK. Thank you, Steve, for correcting that situation in Karis. Oh. We appreciate Karis. Right?
I'm just
Manya also just said goodbye to.
Manya, good night, Manya. You pass out and you go to sleep. Don't you dare go anywhere. Got it, Manya? All right. So I think we're going to wrap this up, take this off air because it's getting late for the Pacific people. But we might stick around for a little bit of an after show, non-aired. So if anybody who wants to come in after, what happens after we go off air stays off air. Okay. So.
Off
Nice. All right, here we go.
I don't know.
Alright,
Night already. I might as well stay on for a bit longer.
They think
we chill before we leave.
Yeah, they think we're kidding. All right, go ahead. What you got to show for?
Well, we've got coming up.
Yeah.
So we got the show on Monday. We've got Tuesday. We've got that time of the month on my channel. I'm working on getting the art stream going, so hopefully that'll be going next week, and that'll also be over at my channel. What else do we have throughout the week? Anybody?
I got Dr. John Kroon, I think, sometime this week to do astrophotography on Beetlejuice.
So, Chesh, me and Steve said that you and I ought to do a collab work, and I can make like a vagina flower, and you could do whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, do it up.
Yeah.
Send that shit.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it on air too.
All right, some Georgia O'Keeffe action. I love
I'm not
that.
gonna.
Or Geo Keefe.
So I'm not gonna shit. I'm not gonna show
We
for
would
anything.
offer it as tattoos.
All right, Jeff, go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, I'm not going to show for anything coming up, but if people want to go a couple of hours back, I was on the shows earlier, few hours earlier, and we had a damn good hangout. I was on there with Conspiracy Cats, so I'm honoured to be on there with. We had a damn good evening. It was a damn good stream. So people want to go back and check that out, please do, because we had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Defango, what you got for us? Defango, you got to show anything?
What do I got for us? I have a
show
bunch
now.
of random bullshit. Well, actually, I have shows going on next week. I don't really know what I'm going to be doing, but it's probably going to be pissing someone off.
Shocker.
Awesome.
Nice.
I
love it.
That's why we love you,
I
man.
admit to not watching many of your shows, but I have watched a couple recently, and isn't that your default?
Yeah, apparently I'm just kind of offensive to people, like in my actions, my body language, my
Your
face, my existence is pain.
Your body image, the body shaming.
Oh yeah.
Which is really funny because a lot of those things are the reason that I actually like you. So,
those are his good points.
It's really, I think that's really fascinating.
That's a trade-off, right? Either you get people like Sweet Heathen who like you, and with the price of pissing some people off who are probably assholes
It's
anyway.
so worth it, dude. If you could piss off people and Sweet Heathen like you, so worth it, dude.
He's just got
I
a
don't-
certain panache about him.
Oh, I'll definitely do that for sure.
It's all, honestly, it's all about Lunchbox. I just love Lunchbox.
What if
What's it
somebody
like
is
for
neutral because one has found the evidence inconclusive? Not because they found the evidence, but just out of sheer apathy. Then you're not involved. You're outside of what the scale would entail.
Yep.
Yeah, you just don't care.
You just don't care.
Yep.
All right, guys, wrapping this up. Thanks a lot. I don't think I'm gonna have Steve Sunday school tomorrow. That I'm aware
That's
of.
what he said.
But we are going to be back Monday. So, anyways, good night, guys. Peace.
It is Sunday school where I am.
Good night, guy.
Why don't you just invite Kyle on?
Bye.